Welcome everyone. Tonight, we have one of two games tonight. It'll be Wildcats versus TPO Mutant Atomic Supermen. Jeffrey, welcome.
Yeah.
Galaxy Fox hosting with me tonight.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
How are we feeling about these two teams? We played them played Mutant Atomic Supermen last week. We saw
Yep.
how they were able to play from behind and even, play into scaling. And we've seen Wildcats play on Friday night. And they had a few issues here and there, but they had some really good performances going into those games into some I think was interesting drafts that maybe might have confused them.
Yeah, I actually really liked Wildcats drafts the Friday night when we casted. It seemed like they kind of knew what they were doing, and their early games were actually pretty decent. Dean Yu was able to put together some good late game, but I'm excited to see how Wildcats performs against Mass. Um, and yeah, of course we played them last week, and you know ended up in a loss, but I think both teams performed phenomenally. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to be the better tonight.
All right. And we see a few early bands here. Morgana coming out against Wildcats, Garen and Caitlyn. We see that Gwen and the hovering Zaya gonna ban the Zaya. Gwen was a big part of that game three last week in that win. Baby Cod was able to do a large amount of damage and even solo carried a 1v3 fight there at the end that was really a
Yeah,
crucial turning point.
I think there's the ASOL. I was about to say if I were Mass because they didn't ban the ASOL, the mid laner is going to pick it up. It's just a really OP pick right now, and that's one of the two picks he's playing. So I actually think they should have banned the ASOL instead of the Zaya.
Hmm. Zaya I think does need to be banned because Zaya is I think OK Demon's best bot laner. We haven't seen his Zeri yet. I know Zeri is a very strong late game carry, but his Zaya does appear to be on another level. Zed gonna be the answer into it, taking early pressure assassins into ASOL. We saw yesterday he tried to play Tristana into the ASOL as well. A lot of early AD pressure seems to be the answer to it. Now we'll see if it can work out.
Yeah, and then the second pick up there is the Maokai. I wonder where this is going to go. He could go jungle, he could go support. Uh, a long time ago, he could go top. Like, who
Don't
knows
don't
where the tree is going?
don't mess with Top Tree. Top Tree is my favorite. See a Scion up there in the top lane. I believe that's for Alien Soul. He does really like to play the hyper tanks, the Ornn, the Scion.
Yeah,
Seen a lot of that. Safe laner. He can just sit up there. He can farm. He can join team fights. It's not really gonna be a pressure point, but also it's gonna be incredibly hard to kill him post first item.
yeah. We found it. He played Sion last week, and we found it particularly difficult to try to shred through him. He got just so tanky.
J4 coming in early pressure ganks as well. So see if a lot of these go to the bot lane because he's picked some scaling options, and we have a early pressure jungle in Jarvan. Don't know exactly how he's gonna build him. What is Wildcat's third pick gonna be?
It's gonna be the
Kaisa?
Kaisa. Okay.
Kaisa for Snick? I don't know enough about if that Kaisa pick is really good for Snick. I might look that up real fast.
I
And
played Kaisa into the ASOL. And while I did make a mistake or two, it did not feel good.
doesn't feel good diving into the dragon. Jink
Yeah, no.
Jinx band coming in for
That's a good ban.
hmm,
That's what we
yeah.
should have banned.
We definitely saw game two, game three. The Jinx really, past a certain point, was a late game carry, and I wonder if they're just gonna ban a fourth AD carry. This is sort of continue the trend last week that happened, where and there's the
It is
Nyla.
the Nyla.
Twitch is gonna be the answer.
It is. Yep.
What support do you think we're gonna see with that?
Probably Twitch
Because
Lulu, right?
Twitch Lulu. I mean, Lulu does empower the Jarvan sort of Scion combo. Seems really keep them alive.
I mean, that's what I would pick. With there being already a tank and a bruiser and a giant dragon, I'd want that small little Yordle powering up everything.
And it does appear Kaisa is one of Snick's more played in ranked.
Yeah, I think that was a known. I think he has that's like what he plays is Kaisa.
Yeah. Janaban coming out from Mutant Atomic Superman, and a Mordekaiser pickup another Scion. Gonna try to bully him out early.
I don't know if you want to pick the Twitch now
Which can
because
be isolated, yes. But it's a question of can you get to him in the late game before he kills you?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because
I don't know.
you've already gone scaling with the Asol and the Scion, and it's like, are you gonna pick
Right.
3 scaling lanes? Can they beat you enough in the early game to put you in the dirt without making a mistake?
There's the
There's the
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
We
you know,
actually didn't get to. We haven't really seen Kubi's Twitch. I don't think so. I'll be excited to see how well he performs on it.
definitely looking to see that one because it is another of those late game scalers that he likes. If you see, of all of the picks that are banned, we have Zeri, Twitch, Jinx, and Nyla, and I would say that all of those are scaling, late game scaling 80 carries.
Yeah.
Zaya
Yeah.
probably is the only mid game one.
Right. And then
Renata,
Renata.
ooh,
Interesting.
it does a good job of the enchanter and it prevents sort of the dive, but I
I
don't.
don't think I would have picked Renata.
I think with the Lulu up, I would have picked it. Going for the threat, they're going for an aggressive lane with the Thresh into the Renata, saving that
Yeah.
support pick. Hmm. I
Hmm.
I think Asol is still the problem.
I would agree with that. If the Zed can get ahead early and the bot lane wins their matchup like they should, for Wildcats, I'm saying, then I think they have a good shot at this game.
Mm.
I'll
I,
be
I,
interested to see what kind of pressure the Maokai could provide versus the Jarvan, but it's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
I think we're definitely seeing aggressive lanes coming out across the Wildcats, and it's really a question of can you get the leads necessary before this team scales? Because I think Jarvan pick is really I don't know if I like it. It gives them early pressure and ganks and stuff like that because he's got a lot of early front loaded damage. But the Maokai, I think, is going to be able to counter gank better. It's got better lockdown. Mordekaiser can take out the first individual that comes in, and then you just back up.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you have for winning this first game?
I think for game one, I definitely gonna have uh I'm gonna have Mutant Atomic Superman. I think the Ace Soul is too strong, and I think they're not gonna be able to end the game fast enough. But I could eat those words because I don't know how good of a Zed player that
I
Baby
mean,
Cod is,
well,
or not Baby
you
Cod,
mean
but
lesbian Zed?
Lesbian Zed. Yeah.
Because I mean, their name is lesbian Zed.
Again, it's one of those things that it's like, can you do enough to the Ace Soul? Ace
Yeah,
Soul's the prime de la prime pick right now.
yeah. Except for the fact that, like you said, early game he's kinda not good, very bad.
Yep, very bad. So I'm gonna stick with Mutant Atomic Superman. I think I'm gonna give them the edge because of the Ace Soul. I like the rest of the draft from Wildcats in comparison.
You know, I think just to differ from you, I'll go with Wildcats. I also like their draft. I think that they have the good answers, and if played properly, could perform better than Mass. So while I say I'm only doing it to go against you, I also think there's a possibility they'll win.
Yep, I could see a world where Wildcats wins because they are going to have early pressure advantage and everything like that. It's one of those things. I see the dragon and I bow to the cosmic dragon.
The dragon's scary. The dragon is scary, scary, scary,
A,
scary.
a soul is going to be something. Now, Lesbian Zed did get, like you said. I actually forgot that that was their name, and pointing that out now, it does tip things in their favor if they have a lot of experience on that. I wish I could out of game see their champion mastery.
Lesbian Zed is their most played and ranked. Um, let's see here. 2022, they played 38 game. Oh, sorry. They played 30 games of ranked, had below 50% win rate, but a 3.0 KDA. I would say they're experienced on Zed for sure.
Hmm.
I don't know to what extent, but I'm excited to see how well it works against the ASOL.
Look, yeah, they definitely Zed's one of their most played. And again, 156,000 mastery points is what we're seeing. 152,
No, 252, 256.
256. All right, so production talks in our ear, and I don't hear numbers very well. So 256,000 is the mastery score of Lesbian Zed.
It's
Wow.
okay though. We will clean out Bovine's ears while we take this short break and get ready for game to start. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are excited to get into game 1 of Mass versus Wildcats. Maybe we'll see some cheesy level 1. I know you love that.
I do, and we do see some walking towards bottom bush from Wildcats. Thresh level 1 cheese incoming. Now, do they
They
take
get an early pick onto the Twitch. That'd be huge.
They're waiting in the right spot too. Thresh is walking forward first. Ward down.
Oh, they get a hook onto the Renata. The Renata had to flash away, but unfortunately the kill did not come through.
Does give early advantage to bot lane though. Summoner spell usage critical into a Thresh lane. He can just flash flay at level 2, and Renata is dead. Twitch does not have the early damage to compete with Kaisa.
Not a kill.
They don't have any. They don't have much follow up. CC. I think Psycho.
Oh no, this Maokai started Twisted Advance.
I think maybe he was just out of range. I think they were sort of not grouped in the right order with, you know, Thresh and Maokai and then damage behind.
Yeah, maybe. Because I think that they should have.
They definitely should have. They have to follow up. Maybe they just didn't layer it correctly, or they weren't willing to flash over for it.
Sure, maybe they're like confused on the target. Because in my head, I thought the Thresh would like hook the Twitch, but
no, I think it just turns into one of those things that they're not willing to spend the early flashes when they've already got a single advantage. You'd have to spend multiple flashes, and you don't know what's over the wall either right away.
Yeah, it seems like Thresh did miss the experience for those first 3 minions.
I think they're okay with that. They're not gonna really be that threatened level 2 in Twitch Renata.
No, but an early level 2 on Thresh is really nice to try to get something.
Maokai early in. Can he hit the hook?
Walking up. He does hit the hook on the Renata, the Maokai with the Twisted Advance, and it is a confirmed first blood to Wildcats. Did go over to the tree, which is a little unfortunate, but first blood is first blood.
I think that was a bit of a mistake. I think Psycho definitely should have left that for the Kaisa, let them abuse this lane even more. But you will take the first blood on your team. Thresh can still impact the map. Going, I believe, the AP build as he's backed and bought a Dark Seal and boots.
Here we see another gank coming up. Top lane with the J4 and going on to the Mordekaiser.
I don't think he wins this.
Gets knocked up. And he tries to churn. The W shield should proc. The flash pole kills.
Double
kill?
kill?
Does he get the double?
No flash, no.
Jarvan does not get the double kill. But what a clean turnaround in the 1v2 for Edwards on the Mordekaiser.
Edward once again continuing last week. We got to see a lot of the turnarounds, him playing his picks.
Rush hook onto the Twitch with the play. Gets some good poke damage on from the Kaisa. Unfortunately, nothing more is able to happen, but that's a good chunk for their lane.
Definitely, Wolfie this week hitting some good timing, some good Thresh hooks, is now infecting this bottom lane really good.
Flash Twisted Advance from the Maokai onto the Jarvan 4, trying to get a kill on the jungler. It should be gifted over to the Zed. No, actually it was a solo bow for the tree. Quick 3-0 coming out from the Wildcats.
1.2, 1.3 gold lead coming out early. They do have to get these advantages early. They're going to be stronger for the first 25 minutes in this team, and I think we're going to need to see about a 5,000 or 6,000 gold lead to sort of be comfortable at the 20-minute mark.
I mean, yeah, but if this is any indication, then I'd say they're on their way.
We're going to have to see them continue. Jarvan making his way towards bot lane. They are pushed up. It is warded. And they're gonna see him and back off.
Yeah, but Maokai with 2 early kills, and if he is going the AP build, then he should be fairly strong with this back. Maybe he'll finish. Maybe he'll get a. What am I thinking about?
It's
an item.
Leandri's.
Leandri's. What's the component that builds into Leandri's? The boat. The
Lost Chapter is what you're thinking of.
Chapter. That's what I'm thinking.
You know, I don't even think of it in that terms like that. I just think of it, oh, the big blue book that gives me mana per level.
That's fair.
And I'm the mid laner. I should know that item because I built it on all of my mages. most of the time.
The tree is invading right now, taking away the Gromp from the J4, while at the same time, they are the side of Mass is trying to get a early Kimcheck Drake on their side. It is warded, so they know they're doing it, but
I think that's just sort of in terms of bot lane spent so much time down there. They hadn't back spent their gold, and they're able to get that on their back timers. Good play from Mass to
they know that
take
the
advantage.
Twitch just backed. Maybe they could try to find a J4 pick here.
They're definitely going to take the Scuttle Crab, but I don't think they're going to get anything else.
That's okay.
Good. It is a good take of the Drake because it is going to stop some of the Drake scaling, and it is taken early enough.
Yeah.
Actually, it's taken so early that if Wildcats does get on top of these Drakes they could still have a soul by 20 minutes if they take all of the
25.
Or 25, yes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, which is still pretty early.
Still very early. I do think it's a bit. Do want to see them take more of the souls because since they're the early game team, they are going to need
They
those.
will need it.
Say we have Chemtech Soul. What is the next?
The next Drake is Hextech.
Hextech Drake's is the next one. I forgot to turn my objective timers on, so I didn't see anything. So that's gonna leave Ocean Cloud, Infernal, and Mountain Soul.
All
now,
the
which?
basic... I was about to say the B word.
All the basic ones.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna say the other B word.
Yeah, the other one.
Well, there's two of those words. No, are you a B
Yeah,
that rhymes
I was
with an
gonna
it?
say all the basic. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But Maokai hovering the spot side looking for either a counter gang, maybe just see if they can get a pick with Thresh. I think he isn't going to find that with as far pushed up as they are. The wave is pushing back into them.
I mean,
all summoner spells available.
Except the Maokai Flash, so there's not really an opportunity for him to find much of advance.
Yep. Think definitely nothing gonna happen there. Lesbian Zed down in far mid hasn't been able to get an advantage into it.
Oh, that hook was so close. Kind of looked like he should have hit.
I think not. Yep.
Just an advance.
Ooh, that's a bit aggressive. Has to take the hook. Jarvan's here.
Oh, excuse me. Definitely aggressive.
Jarvan can actually re-engage this onto the Maokai. They're in danger here. Hook missed again. Renata hits her hook.
The handshake lands, but does not matter. Doesn't seem like anything could follow up. Yeah, do you know that's called handshake?
No, I will fully admit that I am not one who knows the ability names as well. I do know the positioning on the keyboard, and that's about the best I've been able to work through.
Yeah, it's weird. It's called handshake.
It's a corporate term. She's the corporate person.
Know.
The more we know. Is it an actual handshake, or is it just an evil handshake? And what's the difference between an evil handshake and a regular handshake?
I mean, it has to be evil, right?
I mean, no.
It's forced is the thing. It's a forced handshake.
Is it forced? Maybe they like it when it hits her. She's the poison person. Maybe she made them like it for some reason.
Well, then she throws them into a teammate and stuns them.
Maybe that's where the handshake part comes from, because when she throws them into someone, she's making them have a handshake.
Maybe. But we just see a potential engage coming out. We're not all going out, but the flash coming out from the Kai'Sa. The Jarvan ult comes out on top of it. Kai'Sa's able to ult out of it. And the Thresh flashes out of the Cataclysm as well.
Oh.
But with the poison is enough damage to finish off the Kai'Sa from the Twitch. Whew!
Contaminate coming in huge there. Never used it in the initial part. Able to save it for the execute. All 3 summoners burnt on the side of Wildcats for none on the side of Atomic Superman. They actually just used ultis.
I mean, they got some pretty powerful ultis when if the timing's right.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the Thresh wasn't 6 yet. The cage would have been a very good pickup in that fight.
Looks like we're seeing a dive here on top side.
Ulti coming out from the tree. Gonna miss the Scion, but it should be a quick kill going over to the Mordekaiser. The dive performed very well.
Abusing the Scion top lane. We've seen this happen before, and the power
He's
is
in
going to be in
roam.
bot.
He's going to dash forward. Should see a twisted advance coming up on the Maokai, otherwise he's just going to die, and he does.
Ooh.
I think he should have just turned around and tried to engage. But the flash E coming out from the Mordekaiser, and then the return flash coming out from the Acel is going to get him out to safety.
Ooh, I think Lesbian Zed, if she had gotten the death mark off, might have been able to clean up that kill. Does have Ignite, does have Electrocute up.
Yeah.
She had burnt her W, so wasn't going to get a 3-stack on the shurikens, but...
I think the Maokai should have just turned around. I think if he had his passive up, he could have twisted advanced back onto the Acel and tried to stay alive long enough to survive.
Yeah, definitely can't run from the dragon, especially when he's already in flight.
Yeah. It seems like the Thresh might be caught out here. The Flag and Jag came out from the Jarvan, getting him close, and some poison damage coming up from the Twitch, but it's not able to find any purchase.
Aftershock making him a little bit too tanky, can't fight that. Teleports on both top laners as we see them posturing around Dragon, twitching in the shadows. I'm gonna need you to work on that because it sounded more Pillsbury Doughboy than anything.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. I need to put more grovel in it, I think.
Yep. See them coming in. The hook is going to land on
out
Dragon.
onto the J4, but it doesn't really seem to matter right now. No one's in a position to capitalize.
Just jockeying for position right now as everything seems. Rift Herald is dropped mid lane by
Looks like they might try to
Maokai.
catch out the tree early before the fight starts, but doesn't seem like it. MAS seems to be split right now. Maybe this could be the opportunity for Wildcats to try to take a dig. It seems like the run might be cut out, but the hook misses from Thresh.
I think she can follow this with her ulti if she gets hit. Yep.
Yeah,
Follow in.
Oh,
The Twitch takes it.
The ulti from the Maokai hits on the Twitch, but the Renata saves him for now. And the Twitch should dive to the oh my gosh, what is Zed's ulti called? I have no idea.
Death Mark.
Death Mark.
Marks but death. Good flash ulti from
Flash
Banana Man.
ulti. Ooh.
Dodging the hook in the middle of that to dunk the Zed down. That was a great play. It's gonna get them Drake control as well.
Yeah, but Wildcats still is up 2k on. That's a fun interaction. I love it.
Good ulti usage from Alien Soul. Actually, if Edward was being frisky, he could have pulled him into the death realm. Oh no, you can't because you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
I forgot. You're right.
Yeah.
Yet another way to cancel
It's
the
annoying.
Mordekaiser ult.
I've definitely had a Scion or two decide to ulti as I'm ulting and just
That's
get
right.
to leave.
You're the Mordekaiser top player when you play it. I am the Scion and the Ornn player. Which is more tilting, Scion ulting the Mordekaiser ult, or Ornn W your ult?
Probably Scion because it happens more often, and so it's more in my head. The Ornn actually has to have a level of skill in order to get dodge that.
I definitely can say from having played both that the Ornn one feels better and is funnier.
Thresh coming out from the onto the Twitch and tries to pull in the Kaisa, but not knowing the Jarvan was there, and that is a very quick kill for the Twitch. Yeah, for the Twitch.
Yep, my life for Ire, he says as he goes over the wall. No vision. Another top dive incoming?
Maybe.
No, no wave. He might be able to stop him. Jarvan immediately walking top. Baby Cloud wants to go towards there, but he's diving in on mid lane. Who's gonna tank the turret first?
Here comes the Maokai ult. And they seem to dive, but the J4 is up there, and he's going to get a Cataclysm onto both. They end up killing the Scion, but it should be a return kill onto both, making it a 2-for-1 on the side of MAS.
The Scion zombie coming back to bite. And a great Cataclysm again from Banana Man. Banana Man is having a great impact on this Jarvan. He's keeping them in this game early.
It really is.
Wildcats has not been able to get the leads they need. Bot lane is behind by about 500 gold on the AD carries. Mid lane behind by about 600. Only real leads they have are in jungle and top, and I think that's going to be a bit of an issue into a Scion Jarvan later.
Yeah, I mean, if the Mordekaiser can get enough ahead, he could be the one that turns these fights, but It's definitely looking like Mass is doing a good job being in this game, especially based off of that early game that we saw coming out from Wildcats.
Yeah, I think the Mordekaiser doesn't have enough quite yet to deal with the two threats that they've got, especially with the Kaisa being behind. Twitch is going to be a hyper carry past 3 items. Asol is going to be a hyper carry past 3 items. We see him going for. He does have a really late tier, as he doesn't have any stacks on that past the Roa. That might be a bit of a mistake, because that's a crucial item keeping Asol safe in fights.
I would imagine Asol has a pretty easy time stacking a tier, though.
You would think, but just the time investment needed is the same as Roa. And when you start it at 15 minutes versus starting it at, at 4 or 5, the compound factor of time just means that it's going to be harder for that to be ready by 30 minutes.
Now, Asol does have enough Stardust to have the evolved ultimate, so when they decide to team fight, it should be pretty impactful.
He does have 126 Stardust right now. It's going to be amplifying his abilities very, very heavily.
A flash handshake coming up from the Renata trying to catch up the Kaisa. Kaisa flashes away. Ulti coming out, and is going to land on the Kaisa, attacking her own minions, and the Flag and Drag does finish off the Kaisa. And that's a very well-played kill on the side of Mass, but in return, Wildcats was able to get the Rift Herald, second Rift Herald of the game. They are spawning in mid to get the try to get the first tower. Bot might be taken before.
Ooh.
Just barely by a millisecond. Mass got first tower over Wildcats.
I think that actually ends up being a win for Mass in that situation. Getting the Kaisa kill and the first tower blood. I think
if the charge comes out and it's going to, I think it's pretty even. Oh my god, yeah, that chunk. I'd say it's a pretty even trade between the both of them.
I think right now I still favor it on Misses, just because that's conditional gold so far. They haven't gotten anything out of it, and it is going to take a while before they can get anything out of it.
Well, if you think about it the other way, though, the Wildcats opening up the mid tower could be so much more impactful than it's just getting the bot tower.
Yeah, it does give you a lot of control of those passageways between the objectives and the jungle minions.
It's going to land onto the Renata and the Dream 4, but his team is not near to follow up on that. Sion ulti is going to try to make his way down, but he completely whiffs, and he's now going to TP. But old Cataclysm coming up in the J4 and is going to land a Wamba combo with the Asol ult. And that's a very easy 3 kills going over, and she's going to try to kill the Renata, but not find it. And the Asol is going to just be flying around on his back going blah, blah, blah.
I think Baby Cod's Jarvan is a bit of a problem. He got massive re-engaged.
Asol or Banana Man?
No, Banana Man, yeah, sorry, not Baby Cod. Banana Man's Jarvan really has been everywhere getting good ganks off, and in that fight, the Flag and Dragon, a Catalysm combo on top of the Asol just seemed overwhelming.
Yeah, it has been very impactful. I am pleasantly surprised on how well he's been able to impact every single lane, especially with them being down about 2k in the early game. Dush just walked around the J4. I would think he was Sanomon on the sweeper, but I guess not. And J4 is just going to walk out. Maybe he's going to find a flag drag here mid. The Twitch does engage with the poison, and here comes the J4 getting the flag drag, but the Kaisa ulted out and is safe for now. But the Asol does try to find that re-engage, but they're too far away to try to find anything.
Big props to Wolfie there. Flays the Flag and Dragon initially, keeps them both alive. If they're hit by that, they are going to die. Good skill check by Wolfie being able to knock him away.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what do Wildcats do from here? There's about a 4,000 gold swing in the past 5 minutes, as I think this game is starting to transition towards Mass's favor as the longer we go. How do they win this, as they have no soul option? They have to contest every Drake from here too.
In the typical sense of games, when you're behind, you say, wait it out, we scale, we try to win when we're even. But because of the champions they chose and the Drake stacking they have, it's going to be a pretty hard game to come back from. The Maokai does try to find the Twisted Advance and the ulti onto the Granada. It does land, but she was able to get to tower before anything was finalized. The Mordekaiser are still trying to beat up on that Scion top, but not able to find anything. I think the Mordekaiser needed to apply his pressures elsewhere in the early game, because he's just been wet noodling with the Scion the entire game. I don't think it's a lie. Here comes the Twitch though, coming up top, and the Scion ulti does land. Ultimate comes out from the Mordekaiser onto the Twitch. The Twitch is just kind of running away, and the Mordekaiser just sort of seems he wants to fight. But now that he's out of the ulti, he's decided that he wants to fight now. That was weird. You're muted, Bovine.
Oh, Twitch does hide in the ambush the whole time there, so it does end up being one of those things where it's like he doesn't want to walk into the bush and get rat-a-tatted, and he does.
They do try to find a kill though onto the Ace, so maybe they can try to return something. And the Maokai is able to get a kill with his Q onto the Ace. So maybe that means they could try to. The Rush does get caught out by the J4 Renata and Twitch. Should result in his death. It does. J4 is now trying to find a re-engage onto a couple of the carries here. The Oracle Lens does see the outline of the Maokai, but it was too late. He backed.
I think we've reached a bit of the tipping point in the scales. You see 2 items coming out on Asol after his death. Twitch hasn't backed yet, and I believe he is close to having enough for his next item. Maybe not. I think he needs another 5 to 700 gold.
Building a Kraken. He's building a Kraken Slayer, and he has about 700, 1500 worth of gold. Actually, he's pretty close. He probably needs a few hundred more gold, and he has Kraken.
We'll see what he has on his back here. He's going to take a back, see if he's got a second item. I think we've started to reach the point where it's turning. Mordekaiser doesn't have enough damage to fight the Scion. The Scion's happy to sit top or whatever lane he's in all day and just play wet noodle with him.
And he does have enough gold to finish the Kraken.
Yep. Kaisa only on the Kraken Slayer. Zed only on the Eclipse.
She did hit her evolved Q though with the items she has.
Just got to see how these team fights are going to play out. I think we're going to have to see some flanks coming in from Wildcats. They can definitely do that. If Edwards can take out someone like the Twitch and kill him quickly enough, maybe he can get out in time to affect the rest of the team fight.
Yeah.
It is going to be a bit difficult, though. Twitch is very squirrely. If you saw up at the top lane where he pulls him in for the Death Realm, the ambush just keeps him alive, keeps him in stealth the whole time.
Here comes a TP coming up from the Mordekaiser. The Zed did not manage to steal the Scuttle Crab. The re-engage from the Jarvan onto the Kaisa, and the hook CC comes out, and the Jarvan does get popped immediately, but the Renata all coming out, hitting onto all of them, but it's not enough, and the Renata now dies too. The Mordekaiser ults the Asol, keeping him out of the fight. He does miss the cube, but maybe he should die here. The Asol does die. The Twisted Advance onto the Twitch, maybe trying to find something onto him, but the Twitch is able to get out, and they stop the Soul from Mass on the side of Wildcats, and that's a really good 3 for nothing.
Bit of an early engage there. Ooh, can Maokai...
Yeah, so technically the Maokai placement is underneath when it happens and not in front of, and so the Scion's able to go right over him. But the hook does land onto the Scion, maybe trying to find something before the rest of their team comes. Their Wildcats are trying to finish off this Baron before the Twitch re-engages him. Here comes the Twitch.
Everyone's there.
Burns down the Kaisa. The J4 Cataclysm comes out, landed onto everybody, and the Twitch is just able to rat-a-tat-a-tat all over their freaking heads.
Pentakill?
Ending in a pentakill.
It is a pentakill.
Delayed for the timing on the thing, but that is a pentakill for OK Demon. Let's go.
Pentakill each week. Pentakill on Jinx last week. Pentakill on Twitch this week. Coming out as the premier AD carry, I think, right now.
Hey.
Seen 3 different picks from him, and success on the late game scalers means that he's really going to be hard to ban out right now with the bot lane meta being what it is.
I would say we're competent. Okay.
He did beat you.
He didn't beat me in lane.
Lane doesn't matter when you're playing the team fights. Just saying, he has done very, very well.
I was tired last week.
That's an excuse. Winners win, losers make excuses. Gotta be able to perform. And
you're right.
OK Demon is performing in all of these fights.
Yes.
In a lane he should lose. Oh, engaged by Maokai.
Pressure coming out onto the J4 does find something with the play. The CC chain comes out, and there should be a quick kill onto the Jarvan. Jarvan tries to turn it around onto the Kaisa. The Cataclysm does a lot of damage, but not enough to try to save his life.
I think this is a decent kill. The question is, can you get anything else out of it? I don't think they're going to be able to. Asol's wave clear is too strong. Can't push into him without the Baron buff.
Yeah. It's super unfortunate. I think that the Wildcats got a really good turnaround on bot. Stopped the soul, got a 3 for nothing. But they were kind of low. Respawn timers aren't super long at this stage of the game. Obviously, in hindsight, it was a mistake going for the Baron, but I think showing that reining in what you're doing is always good. It's something everybody needs to learn.
I think they could have made that play if they'd had Mordekaiser stay, finish the dragon, and then everybody else roams up to Baron immediately. Yeah. Zion's not going to stop the rest of them, and they're going to get about 10 to 15 more seconds where I think they could have finished that off. Kaisa does do a lot of damage to the Baron with her percent health damage.
Now this is interesting. The Kaisa decided to finish PD. I don't know if it gives the evolved E at that point. I think it does, but she has the Serrated Dirk, which would build into a collector, which means she isn't going for an IE or a Navari Quick Blades right now. This double longsword might be going towards that, but very interesting on the build path right now.
We're gonna have to see where that goes, because I think she definitely Sion building full armor, J4 with a lot of health. You see right there, 2 big beefy frontliners they have to get through, and Zed is not getting through any of that. Mordekaiser can, but it's just gonna take him a lot longer, and he wants to be on the Asol and the Twitch. He does not want to have to fight the tanks.
Yeah, I think that if the Zed is able to find the Twitch and kill him quick, they win fights.
I don't believe Zed has the damage right now. Sorry for the yawn there, everybody. I don't believe Zed has the damage right now to kill the Twitch through the Renata. I think he's off. I think if Renata plays it right with the handshake, with the, hostile takeover, it's going to be hard for the Zed to play into that fight. He's going to have to look for flanks all around, and currently there's no flank options.
Mordekaiser's trying to find engage on bottom to someone, and
guys,
oh my, ulti on top of ultis. The Cataclysm is coming out, trying to finish off the Kaisa and the Thresh, and currently Kaisa's trying to cut it out. They do kill the J4, but the Twitch is now going to come in and the Asol flanks, and that is they're able to finish out that fight for 4-1 on the side of Menace. Sorry, my brain linked at the beginning of that fight. Just kind of in awe of the wombo combo that was coming out.
You see the problem we have, which is that you're trying to fight objective fights in small areas against this guy's Descent, against, the Asol, with this huge amount of zone control he has at this point, probably over 300 Stardust. 309 is the count, and at that point, his black hole, what's it called? Singularity is just taking up so much space in those tight corridors. Sky's Descend we saw there, those three champions were definitely not that grouped up, and they still all get hit by the knockup and the impending wave damage.
Yeah, I mean, it is 30 minutes into the game. They only have a 3k gold lead, but they do now have Cloud Soul. Maokai is trying to find something onto the Scion. Maybe there's something will come out, but the TP coming up on the Mordekaiser. Maybe Scion will be caught out here. CC misses, but the Asol and everybody else is trying to re-engage. The Scion does die, but the ultimate coming up from the Asol and the Cataclysm coming down is And it seems like everyone's just gonna die on the side of Wildcats. The Zed is gonna try to clean up here. Maybe she can find something, but it doesn't really seem like it as the Insul's just flying around. And the Twitch is able to poison off and finish off the Zed. And
Is it just me, or is this an eerily similar fight to the one we saw near the end of the Argonauts game too with the Asol? You saw the Jinx and everybody fighting up there. It almost looked eerily similar to me. Give me sort of a deja vu of what happened to us in that fight. You know, trying to catch out someone on the side lane, trying to get an advantage for Baron, and then just getting collapsed on by everyone.
yeah, and there goes the Mordekaiser trying to figure out if he can stop this Baron take, and he can't.
Mordekaiser tries to get in, thinking if I can ult the Jarvan, Maokai can get in. We can get this Baron play, but not to be. Maokai now
Should
caught
be a
out,
kill on Maokai, and it is.
and the Thresh Lantern not enough to save him as the Singularity keeps him away from that.
Yeah, they're
I
now up 7k gold. I would say this is all she wrote. I think Wildcats need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what they can do in draft next time. Maybe ban away the Ace Soul, and instead of maybe like the Nyla ban, they ban the Twitch. I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I think we can see a big team fight. Maybe they have a chance, but it's just a wallet difference at this point. 8,000 gold on the scaling champions. Twitch is almost to 4 items. The Asol 3.5 items. Sion is building full armor, just disregarding the Mordekaiser because he knows the Mordekaiser is not fighting him.
Yeah. This Mordekaiser got ahead early, and unfortunately he wasn't able to find anything to try to bring his team back into the game.
Zed has their
Before
mop
coming
off.
again, and Disguise the Sin is probably going to come up in the Aurelian Soul. He's just running
Just
at
it-
them all, and it does not matter. The Maokai's trying to finish off this Twitch, but the Rat-a-tat-tat finishes him off. The Mordekaiser decided to ult the Sion, which he can't even kill by the time his ult runs out.
Oh my
and
God.
the ulti was never used by Sion, and just crushes the Mordekaiser.
Asol Sion ulti combo coming in, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. They're taking bottom lane inhibitor. I think they can just end this game whenever they'd like. Zed gets some good damage down, but just not enough. Too far behind. Deathmark
Should
coming
be
in on.
another kill, yeah. 16, 1, and 8 is the score for this Twitch. You know, I think this is the reason why we banned it. And I'm happy to see that it was the good decision on our part, at least.
Good memes from Banana Man diving into the fountain. Mass really playing the scaling game really well. I think Wildcats got a small advantage in early, but just not enough to turn the tides of the scaling that they had. Only getting ahead by about, I think, close to 3,000 gold at the peak is what it was, but just not enough overall. The scaling coming in, the Twitch getting super far ahead, the Asol, managing to stay ahead. Twitch finishes that game 5,000 gold ahead of the Kaisa. Similar farm, but just too many kills, too many plays around the map.
Yeah, the Twitch did 11k or almost 12k more damage than the nearest person from anybody on the game. That's
Yes.
an issue.
Yep. The late game scaling that's come in is going to be a bit of an issue. We're gonna have to see a different draft aspect coming in from Wildcats. Now we have to be curious to see if they're gonna take blue side or red side this game. Maybe the blue side pick comes in, you get a little bit more options. I think for first pick, maybe you could steal the Asol if your mid laner plays it. If not, I think it's gotta be a ban. And I
Yeah.
don't I don't know which other ban you give up because Zeri is in the same vein as the hyperscaling carry, and Zaya is OK Demon's best champion. So it's gonna be something,
I
that we're
mean,
gonna have to see what they adjust to.
yeah, if it were me on the Wildcat side, I would take blue side. Try to get that first pick. That way you don't have to necessarily ban everything. You ban the Gwyn, you ban the Zeri, you ban the Twitch, and then first pick the Asol. Maybe not ban the Twitch. First phase, ban the Asol, pick up the Twitch or the Zaya on your own side. Just trying to find something to mix up the draft. Take away one of those extra picks by having that first pick.
You definitely
Because oh,
definitely looking at it, Lesbian Zed does not appear to be playing the ASOL. Even going into normals, I do not see a single game. I see one game of Aurelion Soul, and that's it.
yeah, I
Um,
think the Zed was a nice try. Um, I just wasn't able to find the purchase that they hoped it would against the ASOL.
yeah, I think even knowing what the simple snake play, because we're looking to see if maybe they want to take some of the one of those 80 carries that they banned out. You're talking, you ban Zaya or you ban Zeri Zaya, and now you're forced to ban the Twitch if
Yeah.
unless you want to play a different sort of style into it. That could be maybe they change their answer into it and just keep some similar bans.
He
Trade
does have some games on the Zaya, so that could be something that they take away
even
if they're
looking,
worried about it.
yeah, the Zaya, the Zeri, the Twitch, all of those are really far down. Even looking at the normals that they play, I'd sometimes look even outside of ranked and stuff like that. Kaisa is their most played recently. Caitlyn is one of their most played recently. I don't think they're going to be getting that. It is a very lane dominant style
They
when you
really
play that.
just don't play Zaya, they don't play Twitch, they don't play Zeri.
Hmm.
It's like they play every single I'm looking at their OP.GG from last year, and they play every single AD carry except those.
Well, we will have to see what they have an answer for them. We're not gonna. I don't think we need to continue more on that. We're gonna see what they are going to play into it. They
Mm,
definitely did get an early advantage. Maybe they just need to go a little bit more early game. Not so much other scaling options. They are going red side for game two, prioritizing the
interesting.
counter pick.
That's interesting.
I can agree with it though. Some teams prioritize the counter pick. Some teams prioritize the taking the first pick away. There are advantages and disadvantages in each part of draft for that. As
Yeah,
one depends on what you're playing. People who are solo lane dependent, I think, tend to go towards the red side pick. And if you're sort of bot lane, you want to get the strongest carry, meta pick, you tend to go towards the first pick. And there's advantages and disadvantages to both.
I agree, but I feel like at the same time, it's just there's so many priority picks that giving up that first pick on the side of mass is just
But as we've
oof.
seen, by looking at what champions they play, I don't think they're playing the same priority picks as them. So it doesn't really, I think, matter that they are giving those up. I think ASOL is going to
Yeah,
have to be banned, like we said. But
yeah.
it,
It's hard because in my head, in the first draft, they picked the ASO first, and then they picked Scion Jarvan 2-3.
question is, if you can find a counter for the Gwen, you could potentially give that up. But
Yeah,
it's difficult. You're giving comfort to top. Who we've seen struggles a little bit in lane, but it's irrelevant because of the
right.
picks he's playing, the Scion, the Ornn. y-
Maybe if you leave up one of the 80 carries that OK Demon plays, that they'll want to prio pick it phase one, and they won't pick their top laner phase one, and they'll um, maybe they could ban out those tanks, maybe get him something a little less comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to see what those jungle picks turn into as well. It's going to be a question of just seeing what answers they have in store. They're going to have to adapt. They are going on red side again, and the adaptation is going to be key. Just the scaling of Mutant Atomic Superman, excuse me, is going to be what really determines, I think, how they play this game out. Are they going to play scaling with them? Are they going to play more into the early game now?
Oh, seems like a mistake happened. They were trying to jump into the game before the draft ever happened.
Oops.
I don't know if it glitched for you, but I can still hear the lobby music in my headset.
I cannot. I am thankful that I don't have to listen to that, but there is an option. If you go to your sound settings, you can just turn the sound off.
Well, I don't want to turn off my sound
You can
because
also
then I'll
turn it.
forget.
I mean, I can remind you before the game starts to turn your sound back on, if it so behooves you.
I'll live.
You live? Okay. Well, enjoy your lobby music, sir. I must say.
It's kind of nice.
It has never been nice in the history of video games to listen to the lobby music.
It's just kind of like an orchestral kind of simple tune.
Hmm. All righty then. I will have to agree to disagree with you on that. There are some games I think that have great music. This is not one of them for the lobby music specifically. Now, Riot's music department is fire. Let's be clear on that.
Right. I mean, it's good. I think only because we've listened to it so many times. That's why it's gotten stale. But
Probably.
like, but like, in its inherentness, it's good.
Let me
But
s-
we are getting into pick some bands for game two, and we see the Morgana Zed coming out from and Garen coming out from the set of Mass, and the Zaya Gwyn once again coming out from Wildcats, and we'll see what this third band here is. I would
what?
think it's the Asol, but who knows?
I think it is the Ace Soul. I
It is
think
going to be the
what?
Asol.
I'm confused as to why Mutant Atomic Superman traded the Zed for the Caitlyn. It seems a little bit strange because that Zed did not really do a whole lot to affect the map. Maybe just wanting to get him
Yeah,
off comfort picks.
I
If
mean,
the
it's going to be a Zeri first pick, right?
well, the Twitch and the Zeri are available, so it's a question of what do they want. And Scion being the priority.
Scion.
I think they were going to accept that Edwards was going to play that pick, and now the question is, what do you play into
Mm,
it?
okay,
I think that's a good draft adaptation, knowing that your top lane's priority is more important right now than I think anything else.
that's fair. And we see the Ezreal coming. Oh, sorry.
Wake
Oh
up, man.
man. See
Darius.
Ezreal Darius coming up from the side of Wildcats. Darius is a pretty good matchup into the Scion, but we'll see if he could try to get that priority that wasn't fully able to come online last game.
I think this is a better thing. Once you have Scion trapped pre-level 6, you can just continue to walk it down into him. And we see Rakan coming out from Mutant Atomic Superman and Zeri. There is the
Interesting.
Kobe has played this a lot. Kobe is OK Demon. He's playing another hyperscaler, and we have this will be his what fourth, fifth pick,
Fourth
fourth,
pick.
fourth
Fourth
pick.
pick.
Yes, two Jinx games, a game of what was it, Sivir,
Yeah.
Zeri, and Twitch. Now,
Yep.
all of those are hyperscalers, and he has shown that he can perform on those.
Yeah. And then a Kane coming up for the third pick on the side of Wildcats.
Wow.
That's I don't know. That wouldn't be what I pick.
See, that's the thing is Kane is sort of a feast or he wants to fight early, and with the way they've been
Yeah.
fighting the junglers early, a Vex band coming out from Wildcats, I think
I would have
maybe.
banned the J4.
Well, they do have one more pick we could see banned.
I
Um,
guess their team also is good against J4 in this sense.
Nami band coming out against Wolfie. Wolfie, I haven't looked up their stats. Maybe Nami is their most played. Look that up
The
real quick.
Navi. I actually think the Vi is a good ban.
Vi gives the lockdown you need into the
Yeah.
Zeri. I actually think they should have picked it.
I would agree with that.
Well, instead of the cane, but
Yeah.
the targeted CC. Maybe they go with a Nautilus in the bot lane. Saw that he played the Thresh. If you could play the Nautilus, that gives you the option you want into the Zeri too.
Hmm.
Targeted CC that if you get on top of them, they can't get away from. Lulu Band coming
Yeah.
in.
Especially with that depth charge coming out from the Nautilus, it just seems like a really good pick up. against the Zeri.
And Wolfie's Mills played are Morgana and Nami. I do not see a Nautilus played here. Looking in normals, yeah, I do not see a Nautilus played, so we will have to see
It's gonna be the
Janus.
Janna.
Hmm. I don't see enough stuff to dive the Zeri. I don't see anything that's going to be able to threaten the Zeri right now.
Yeah. I mean, if the Darius gets ahead,
Nope. With the
maybe.
no, there's I Darius is going to have to park himself on a side lane, and even more so now. Vigar.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. How do you
I
Nunu and Willow? That's
that's
a
a weird
straight.
pick.
Eh,
But I mean, whatever. The rest of their comp is so good that it's
you could play whatever here. Yeah,
yeah.
I think Nunu is just going to try to avoid the Kane. Maybe not even fight with him early. Don't need to. Nico coming in for the mid lane pick.
I
I
don't think that was it.
No, I think this draft is much worse than game one.
Do you know?
If I'm
I think they should have picked Cassidon. I don't know if Lesbians Ed plays Cassidon,
I do not believe
but
they do.
I think that would be a good pick for this. But Nico,
Let's see how it works out. we've said a lot of stuff about different drafts. We said something about
yeah,
the Aatrox bot lane, and we saw how
no,
that
it's
went.
true. It's true.
Nothing is set in stone. You can win your lanes outright and be able to, claim a victory on any draft like this. There's no inherent, but just inherently looking at comp versus comp, Mutant Time Superman has an advantage that they're gonna have to, Wildcats is gonna have to play through, and it's gonna have to come from lane advantages. I think. Can we see
Yeah,
them win the lanes hard enough is gonna be the question.
yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think that I think that based off of game one, um, and based off of these comps, I would say that Mass definitely has the advantage of winning game two. I mean, you can't ever count a team out. Obviously, the game hasn't even started yet. So I'll be interested to see what Wildcats do to try to bring themselves into a winning position in this game. If they can get early picks, if they can find those small advantages here and there, they can definitely win this game. But the later the game goes on, the more difficult it's going to be for the side of Wildcats.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to see these lane advantages coming through. It's once again the same thing from game one, like you said, scaling on Mass's side, and they've proved they can play it. That all three games that they have won, they have played heavy scaling compositions and been able to clutch it out in the end.
Yeah,
Mm. I want to see a lot of damage going out towards Darius at his side. Edwards has been a very key component, and with the Ezreal Janna being as safe as it is, and not the same kind of J4 engage you had before, I want to see a lot of attention paid to Darius, a lot of dives coming in, like we saw. Roam Nico up top, let bot lane just sort of play the lane out the way Zeri is going to be a scaler. Just have Ezreal play the scaling role too.
yeah. We'll see what predictions come out on this from our Twitch chat. There is a vote up right now if you want to give any channel points.
Mm.
And it seems like so far there's the channel points are going towards TPO MAS to win game two. But this should be an interesting game too. I think I want Wildcats to be in a position to win this game. I think it's always fun going to game three, and uh, yeah, I hope it happens.
Hmm. I think we're gonna see at least a good fight game two. Um, we're gonna see some more early game action, more early game advantage, and things like that coming out for Wildcats. We just have to see more of it than we saw in game one.
Yeah. Um, but regardless, we will see you guys all here in a few minutes for the start of game two, Wildcats versus Moose.
All right, we're back for game two between TPO Mutant Atomic Superman and Wildcats. Um, does not appear that we're going to see any level one shenanigans again.
Yeah, unfortunate, but you know that's how these things go.
Think after the success they had game one, not the same kind of draft. Maybe could have taken Nico into one of those bushes. Maybe get a pick, but it's just still unlikely that you're going to get one. Now, what do you see? We see a ghost on the Zeri and heal on the Rakan. Nothing aggressive in the bot lane by the looks of it. Ghost instead of TP on Baby Cod. Playing the aggressive Vigar. Something you can do on some of the scaling mages is like the Syndras and the Vigar and Victor. You can play Ghost on them and really, have that extra aggressive advantage in team fights when you have that up.
Yeah, I think I would have played the TP just because you need that sideline pressure and move around the map really easily, but I guess the ghost could be very useful when trying to get a cage down on someone in the backline and they're not expecting the movement speed.
It could also be one of those things to run, like if you don't get a cage on the Kane or the Darius, you can run away from them. It matches that. It might even be more for the Darius because the Darius has certain targets he's definitely running towards.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Watch it.
Darius starting Q level 1, a bit of a mistake. I think experienced Darius players take W level 1 into the melee matchups.
Back off.
I don't know.
Yes, they do. The W level 1 actually gives you kill pressure if you get behind him like he was there.
Oh.
When they walk up to take the minion, if you auto W and then keep walking forward of them, you have to force them to flash because you will actually kill them level 1.
Yeah, I don't play Darius, so very interesting.
There you go. Level 2's coming in bot lane. Nothing going on here right now. Both junglers are pathing towards bot side on their first rotations. Looks like 2 camps apiece on the top side, and then coming down bot and full clearing from Kane's side. Nunu coming in for a 3 camp gank.
Both sides get a root off, but here comes the Nunu going in. The good.
Well, this could be a turnaround.
Yeah, maybe the King can find something over the wall here. But Ezreal definitely is trying to pump in a lot of damage.
Definitely is getting a lot of damage out. I don't think anything's gonna come of it.
Yeah. What is Ezreal's E called again? It's
Arcane Shift.
Yeah, shift. I was thinking of the shift.
Okay, wrap it out.
Wrap gank. The Ezreal E's forward, try to find something, but the Rakan should be able to die here, and he does. The flash coming up from the Kane, getting first blood onto him.
Psycho with a bit of a mistake there, taking that once again with the flash. He doesn't need to.
Well, yes, he didn't need to commit the flash, but I think it's fine that he got the first kill. I think kills give more essence to a Kane towards his form, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
I believe it's just based on how much he's been fighting them, but I could be wrong. I'd have to ask a jungle person. I don't know if we have anybody in the chat in jungle who knows how Kane's essence stuff works. I know it's based on the type of whether you're fighting ranged or melee, and I know that if you Kane coming in from Nunu,
but the W coming up from the Nico, I don't think she needed to flash there, especially with the Kane coming out for the reverse gank.
Bit of a better safe than sorry kind of thing. One of those where it's like if they do somehow get enough damage on you, you want to be able to return the fight. But yeah, I think didn't need to use the flash there. Darius fighting the Scion very heavily.
Yeah, I mean the Scion's out of mana, so it's not really a whole lot he can do right now. But basically so far it's that first blood and then a lot of flashes used on the side of Wildcats. Sorry.
Very similar vein to game 2. I think Darius doing a good job right now of zoning the Scion out of EXP range. No EXP gotten from that melee. He is going to get EXP for this one and for 2 of them actually.
Yeah.
Keeping the farm even. Darius has to commit more, I think, to Just stand behind his minions. Don't let him do anything. Give him nothing, but take from him everything.
Here comes a Debbie coming in from the Rakan, but the shift is able to keep Ezreal safe for now.
His W is called Grand Entrance.
Grand Entrance. I'll just say W. That's too long.
I think
Maybe a dash.
Rakan is flamboyant enough that you have to call him Grand Entrance.
I will do what I want.
You will do what you want, you say, eh?
Yep. Doing what I want.
Doing what you want? Okay, you could do what you want. Kane down here for a gank.
Yep, here comes Cam again. Maybe they can try to find something onto this area this time. Ezreal gets some damage onto the Khan, but gets some good damage coming out. The Jano Tornado does find him, gets the Glacial on him, but nothing really a whole lot in exchange, but good trade for health there in the bot lane. Maybe Darius can try to find a kill onto the...
Oh, he does get it.
With the Flash ultimate, it is going to go down. And on the opposite side of the map, Wildcats are trying to get the first Drake of the game, especially with the Rakan and Zeri being down already. But the
good knockout
finds a good cage on the three of them. It's not going to be enough. The Nunu rolling around with his big ball and he's going to come in and hit up the
Nico ulti.
Nico ulti going in and not finding anything. They are able to secure the Drake on the side of Wildcats.
Think of a
And
bit
a
of a
trade
mistake walking
1 for
away
1.
there.
I mean, it's a 1 for 1 and they get the Drake. I think that's only beneficial. And they got to kill him to the Darius topside, so.
With Ezreal, Nico, Janna, I think they actually should have turned and continued fighting them. But
Yeah.
better safe than sorry. They have 1,000 gold lead. They have the first Drake, and that's a big difference. I think this game, controlling those early Drakes is going to be a much better strategy, especially because they have the AOE sort of with control with the Nico and the Janna to force them to fight in places they don't want to, especially now that Asol's not in here in game 2.
Yeah, exactly. I also think it was really good for the Wildcats to be able to kill that Nunu that flanked them. I think that it could have ended a lot worse.
Yeah, no level 6 on Kane, no level 6 on Nunu. I think he couldn't. Coming for that flank is a decent idea, but I don't think he's going to be able to get enough of it out. Good ulti from Sion there.
That was a really good ulti, actually.
Alien Soul actually, I think, plays, especially playing the Sion and other picks that he's played, definitely doesn't play at what his rank says he is. Plays much better, especially on things he's comfortable on.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's shown multiple times that he can play that weak side Sion very, very well and have a good impact.
Yeah. The Baby Cage is able to trap the Kane inside. And here comes the Nunu with the Snowball. They are trying to find something, but the Nico all comes out, and they are able to find that kill onto the Nunu. The Zygarde is able to finish off, and the Flash ultimate out from the Vygar is able to get that double kill.
All 3 kills onto the Vygar, accelerating him. Good initial fight there from Psycho and Lesbian Zed to turn that fight onto the Nunu. But I think just the Vygar is able to sit there and pump damage, not able to dodge the Event Horizons or the... What is this Q called?
It's like Primal Burst or something?
Yeah, Baleful Strike, Dark Matter. That initial hit on the Baby Cage, the E there, set him up for the Nunu damage on the Lesbian Zed, and I think
his ulti is Primordial Burst.
Yes, that is what it is. Good fights though. Baby Cod being a very late game scaling again.
Here comes another gank coming up from the Nunu mid. The Snowball hits, but the Vygar Cage doesn't. So here we see another, not a full engage coming up from the Darius, but that burn is going to bring the Sion down to half health, but here comes the Nunu Vygar roaming up and maybe trying to find something in return. Here comes the Snowball, but the season on control word, and the Darius does get slowed, and the Snowball does hit, and here comes the Vygar slowly going to try
Stop on the
something.
ulti.
The Vygar cage comes out, stunning the both. The Darius gets hurt a little bit, but the King gets knocked up. Maybe the King can try to finish off. The King does finish off the Sion, try to get away, but the King does go down. The Darius doesn't find the kill. But the Nico comes in and tries to find something. The Volt does land onto the Vygar, but seems like he's going to be able to survive for now, especially with the cage coming out.
Bit of a mistake in the middle of that fight. Edwards actually ulted the zombie Scion and not the Vigar as he wanted to. I think he, or not the Vigar, the Nunu as he wanted to. Might have been able to get an additional trade onto the Nunu with if the Nico comes in afterwards.
Yeah, the Kane did get his transformation now, so with Lost, there's going to be a lot more team fight potential coming out from their jungler. Maybe that means they can try to find something, and they can stop the Nunu ulti from fully charging, and I don't know.
No, we see.
It's only a 200 gold difference right now at 11 minutes in the game, so very even teams so far.
Big problem we see is the mid lane has 1,000 gold advantage over the Nico. Vigar into Nico. Everything else is pretty even. 100 gold on the
600 gold lead at top for the Darius.
Watch it.
It just
That's pretty
doesn't.
much it.
We have that scaling factor creeping in though. The Zeri is going to be a problem, and with not enough heart CC, she can be an issue.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to find something on this fight bot. The Vigar Ghost is maybe trying to catch up the Kane. The Ezreal is trying to pump up spells into the Rakan, but not really able to chunk him down at all. The Darius on the opposite side of the map is trying to get something onto the Scion. And it seems like all the engage kind of fluttered out in the bot side. It is going to result in Mas getting a Drake, but
I think this is a mistake. They need to contest this. Psycho has to come earlier.
Yeah, it seems like a re-engage might happen. Maybe the Nico could find a good flank, but the cage does find this Kane. Gets him really low with the primordial burst. Here comes the Ezreal coming out trying to chunk. The Janna ult comes out trying to heal and survive, but it doesn't seem to be enough.
Standard
Kane
fight.
is trying to get back into the fight, but he doesn't seem to be able to. Here comes another baby cage coming out, and the Ezreal gets chunked super low, and the Janna does get...
Darius turns.
Darius ult with the flash ult gets a lot of damage and gets the resets on his ultimate, getting 2 kills coming out. And that is a 2-for-1 on the side of Wildcats, but the Drake does go in favor of Mats.
No shutdown taken on Vigar. Vigar able to get out of the fight with the Darius flank. Good flank from Edwards. Scion just going to take plates top lane now. And I think that losing that early Drake is a big stalling point from Mass, able to take the soul point away, or make the soul point come later in the game.
It's just going to take longer for them to get. Because they would have only had 2 Drakes. So
yes, but
it does delay it by 5 minutes. That's for sure.
That 5-minute delay with this scaling is very big.
Right, and here comes the Kane coming out. Right, he's able to get in front of the Scion, not stopping the ultimate from getting away. The W isn't back up in time for the Kane to try to find something. So the Scion is able to get away. Maybe the Darius could try to find something bot if he tries to get a...
He has ghosts.
Does have ghosts. I would...
Nope.
I actually think I would have ghosted there. I think there's a possibility he catches her. But the Richo does spawn mid, is going to get 2.5 plates there. We'll see if they try to get a 3rd plate. Doesn't seem like it right now.
Darius on top.
Somehow the Darius got on top of the Zeri and was able to just kill her outright without even ulting or ghosting. I don't know how that happened.
We'd have to look back at that one to see that, but yeah, that's a bit of a mistake from OK Demon. This is the first game where I really think we've seen him make, mistakes like that. Maybe riding a little high from game 1, doing so well on the Twitch, might need to, rethink a little bit how he's playing these stuff out, because you cannot be dying to Darius on the side lane. 4-1-1 right now, biggest power point in Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, if the Darius gets far enough ahead, he's just going to be almost unkillable, especially if he just gets like tank items, maybe like Death's Dance and a what's the one that makes you really big, Sterix?
Sterix Gauge, yep. I'm not sure if he's going to need a Black Cleaver maybe into the Scion. Definitely will help his team out a lot.
Nunu Snowball tries to find its way mid, but the Nico does ult. It does get rooted by the Baby Cage. Primordial Burst is enough to finish her off, making the Vigar unstoppable.
5-0-2. How much? Have to look at Baby Cod, see how many stacks. 160 stacks, currently at 240 AP.
And is almost 2K ahead of the Nico.
Ooh, Vygar getting very far ahead is not good. They're gonna have a tough time, I think, itemizing into that with the rest of the team. Well, no, maybe not. Nunu is gonna do a lot of match damage there.
We see the Darius Ghost, not able to find the Q, but does find the slow onto the
Good double
Zeri.
knockup.
Double knockup, yeah, coming up from Kane. And the pullback is able to find that kill onto the Zeri. Rakan is able to get away, but it was just enough CC coming out from the two of those that they're able to kill this. Here we see the Sion coming out, hitting the Janna up, and enough CC is going to come out that Janna should die, but the ulti does prolong it. TP coming out from the Nico. The Nico gets a double stun, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough damage, at least right now. The Ezreal's trying to catch him, but the Nunu Snowball does get him away.
Janna caught a little bit out of position there. Sion rightly ulting her.
Yeah.
Again, Alien Soul playing the Sion very, very well. A little bit of harassment here. Ezreal does get some decent damage, but I think Sion's perfectly okay with standing here.
Does seem like it. We see the Kane maybe trying to find a kill onto the Sion. He should be able to find the QW, and he does. Gets an auto, some the Gore Drinker's proc, and he is able to finish off the Sion, making the Kane now 4-4-3 with a 150 gold bounty.
Definitely gonna have to see which team claims these bounties. Kane having a bit of a small bounty there, getting a lot of the, or 2 kills now, 1 in top on the Zeri, and now 1 in bot side. Zeri trying to fight the
Zeri trying to go forward onto the Ezreal. Maybe they're able to find something, but it seems like the shift from the Ezreal is able to keep them safety. They find the re-engage coming up from the Nico, and maybe trying to find a good engage, but the TP is forced out of the Sion down bot. The Kane isn't able to find anything on the side, but it seems like they're wanting to contest for this dragon. We'll have to see who is up with that. The flash having to come up from the Darius to escape the baby cage. And we see a re-engage from the Darius onto the Nunu. There's some CC coming out, but the Zeri ultimate doesn't really find anything. And they're trying to wait out the Zeri ultimate. The stun coming up from the Nico does find the Zeri. Baby cage coming out, not really find anything. They're currently just going back and forth. The Nunu snowball is coming in. Sion also going in.
There's a good flash.
And we see a full engage coming up from the Nico and the Darius, getting some really good engages. The Darius is going to be able to get picked up, I think, by the Darius. Oh, the pole barely missing, not getting able to finish off the Zeri. The re-engage coming up from the Vygar. The Kane is still full health, so I feel like this should be their Drake.
Nunu can heal. Nunu can heal up. Nunu has his bite that he can use his Q. He can go heal some minions.
The re-engage coming up from the Kane, maybe trying to find something onto the Vygar, but the baby cage comes out and stopping it all.
Question
The
is who
Zeri
gets out
is
first.
so low.
Mass is not using the teleportation gates. Nico is going to be able to get out here faster. Darius will have ghosts shortly. I think we're gonna see another fight.
Re-engage from the Nunu and the Rakan onto the Kane, but Kane's able to knock them up and Gore Drinker to some health. Maybe he's able to survive this, maybe not. Q away, and he's going to be able to survive.
Oh,
the knockup coming out, he barely lives, and we find a re-engage coming out from the Nico and the Ezreal ult on top of it, and the Nico coming out now, and the 1,000 gold bounty going over to the Ezreal, and we're gonna find another kill onto the Sion, and that was a really good slowing down coming out from the side of Wildcats, and their teammates are able to come back with full health.
That's a great outplay there by Psycho, able to survive everything they threw him. Two knockups, getting away, getting a good Gore Drinker proc on 3. It's able to have just enough health to come out and stay in that fight. I think if he dies, it might be a different story about how willing Wildcats is to re-engage, but a great fight coming out from Wildcats, able to turn what was essentially a 2.5-minute fight into a second Drake for themselves.
Yeah, that was a long fight.
Ezreal gets 2 ultis out in the middle of that. Edwards, even though he dies in the first one, gets a good double kill. You know, fighting out the Zeri, waiting out the Zeri ultis. you know, absorbing the Scion ult. Lesbian Zed gets a huge Nico ult onto 4. Nunu being annoying here. Stealing camps.
I want to talk for him.
Is
that okay?
You're gonna let me talk for a minute?
Uh-huh.
You have been chatting for 2.5 minutes on the whole fight. Welcome to our league where all fighting happens for forever and always. This is how I felt last Sunday night when they continued to fight for almost 3 minutes straight. All right. Take breath. Take breath. Get you a drink of something if you got it.
I got some water.
Get to drink the H2O. All right, not a lot going on around the map right now. Just some stuff, farming going on. Nico's covering bot. Darius back in top, trying to take top lane tower again into Scion. Zeri just now finishing her first item, finishing the Immortal Shield Bow. Ezreal with 2 and a full Muramana. Fight coming in. Nunu does get the root down. Ezreal's forced to flash away. That's a lot of damage onto that. Rakan battle dances away. Flash in. I think this might be a bit deep from the Kayn. Knockup coming up on from the Janna. Quickness comes in. Kayn does end up getting the kill on the Rakan. Almost 3/4 health to Zeri. Zeri playing from behind this game, not as effective. 3K gold lead coming out from Wildcats. Nunu tries to snowball in. Nothing happening. Darius has caught Scion in between the lanes. Does tank the ulti. Is chasing with the Q. Uses the ulti. I don't think he has enough of the bleed damage to kill him. Misses the final Q, and the bleed is going to fall off. I think there might be a slight lull. I don't know that they're going to be able to take anything else. Just the Rakan death coming out. Maintain a 3K gold lead coming out from Wildcats as they've been able to hold the Zeri and hold OK Demon back. Maybe leaving the Zeri pickup has been the right choice for them in this game so far. As the Ezreal 2-0-8, Darius 8-2 and 3. See a large leads on those players. 4K gold lead out of top. Actually, jungle is fairly even. Nunu and Kayn. Ezreal with about a 1,600 gold lead right now.
Yeah, I didn't expect this game to go as well as it is for them. I mean, I know from what we've seen, the early game from Wildcats is pretty good, and that we saw that last week as well.
I think they definitely have
able to use some good advantages.
They haven't made the same mistakes they sort of made in the mid game last game as well. You know, not losing a lot of the fights early and things like that. The Twitch did sort of become the beneficiary of everything in all of the fights, and now the Zeri is being focused properly and hasn't really been able to get any advantages. Is farming well, but just not the same kind of lead that they had in game 1.
Yeah.
Kayn coming down for a gank is on the Zeri. Are they just going to turret dive? He looks like it. He is not afraid. Misses
like
the knockout.
Have some fun.
Does get knocked up. Nunu coming around with the snowball, aiming for the Ezreal. Ezreal arcane shifts out of the way. Kayn misses the knockup again. Not going to get the kill. That's a huge mistake. Shutdown goes to Zeri. 600 gold. You do not want to give this Zeri any gold as she's now under 1,000 gold difference between her and the Ezreal. I think that's a big mistake, missing both of those knockups. Even if you do, you're giving her the kill without your ulti.
Yeah, I think that was really well played from OK Demon surviving with that turret against the Kayn. And the last thing, like you said, you want to do is accelerate the Zeri any more than you have to.
Watch it.
Darius is still handling the sideways right now, but that's going to be a big kill if they come back in this game that we're going to look back and see and say, hey, you gave the Zeri what she needed and what she wanted. Veigar is already farther ahead than the Nico, and you just have to keep the Ezreal ahead of the Zeri right now. Do see a dragon dance incoming. Ezreal getting a little bit of poke out early.
I mean, a little bit. He WQ'd the Nunu and he took no damage.
That's why I said it's just a wee bit, okay?
Oh, but the Q did chunk the Recon right there, so I mean there's a little bit more tankiness between the two of them.
Yeah, no. Once you see the last Whisper come in, I think the Nunu's gonna start feeling some more of the hurt.
That's fair. But we do see Wildcats starting
Darius,
to track
huge flank.
the local health, huge flank. Yeah, I agree from Darius. The sound is engaging, but we see some weird shenanigans happening from both sides. The Drake is confirmed taken by the side of Wildcats. Maybe they're trying to finish off the Scion on the side of the fight. The Darius is on the other side, drawing 4 members of their team. The Kane is able to finish off the Scion, maybe trying to go help the Darius. The Darius is just kind of running away and causing havoc. And he's alive with more than half health still.
Yeah,
the
he
knockout
actually
coming up from the Recon.
He actually just used his presence and pressure. That's actually a really great play from Edwards.
Wow.
Actually not fighting the 4-man that's on that side. The Zeri actually is caught on the opposite side of the Darius and does not want to walk into him. He is forced to use his flash in the middle of that fight. Oh, Nunu trying to engage on him again.
Yeah.
I don't think
Maybe
this
they're
is
able
enough.
to find something. The cage coming out, not hitting the Kane, but it doesn't seem to matter.
Flash is forced, and that's about all you're going to get out of that play. But back to what I was saying, Edwards actually using his pressure on that flank. Once they see him, they're forced to either fight the Drake forward without a Zeri, or they're forced to turn on Darius and him just playing it out really well, able to, you know, play that thin line of kiting the 4-man that he can see, and also zoning the Zeri out of the fight, not able to get a team fight that they want.
The chat was wondering what the Q stacks were on the Vigar right now, and he does have 240 bonus ability power.
We're going to see that also skyrocket, his AP skyrocket here soon. He's sitting at 567 right now.
Yeah, he's about to finish the Death's Dance. He needs about 400 gold, 500 gold, and he'll get his Rabadon South Cap.
And he's getting about 50 additional ability power from the Seraph's Embrace as well. Oh no, 50 plus 43. So almost 100 additional ability power from the Seraphs as well.
Yeah, once he finishes that death cap, the Vigar is going to be really strong.
He has been the scariest member this entire time. It's just going to be how are they going to play it out? As you know, the Ezreal is going to have to play much safer. Same for the Nico, because they are in one-shot territory.
Take may be wanting to happen. Ezreal poking down the Nunu. Maybe Ezreal's playing pretty aggressively, trying to find some good poke onto their carries before a fight ever starts.
He is
one
one
of the calling the Baron.
Kane posturing a little far forward, trying to deny vision, but they're not sweeping everything out that effectively. I think Janna needs to use the sweeper around the Baron pit.
Darius is trying to find the Scion down bot side, and the rest of them are collapsing. This might be the opportunity for Wildcats to try to take the Baron. The Darius heals a lot and does find an ulti onto the Recon, trying to live. Then another Q healing him up to half health. And now they've realized what they've done on the side of MAS. They've left the Baron wide open for them to take, and it's going to be too late by the time the Nunu and the Vigar get over there.
Nunu is snowballing over right away. Janna needs to knock him away. Don't give him away into the pit.
They flash in, misses the Chomp Smite onto the Baron, and it's picked up by the Kane. And they are able to find the kill onto the Nunu, I think. Yeah.
And they win the other part of this fight, though.
Zeri goes for the re-engage. Maybe she eased over the wall, gets
very aggressive.
Damaged a lot. Kane should be able to finish off the Zeri, and he does. And the Darius is fighting that engage onto the Darius bot side, and that should be a kill as well. And so that's a Baron and a 2 for nothing on the side of Wildcats.
3 for nothing. OK Demon with a bit more of an aggressive play than it needed to make. We see Recon and Vigar trying to stop the Darius from taking this tier 3 turret, but they're losing the tier 2 in mid. They're going to be pressuring the tier 3 shortly. I think Wildcats is actually over the hump if they don't make any more mistakes. Vigar is going to be very scaled, but right now they're just totally in the driver's seat with this lead they've got. They've ballooned it to an 8,000, 9,000 gold lead now. And Nunu playing with fire going in. Ezreal has the damage to chunk through his armor now.
Yeah. I regret everything I said at the beginning of this game before it even started.
Like that's why I had to mention it. Like we've said many times, sometimes
Yeah.
you can have what can arguably be a worse draft on paper, but if you're comfortable with it, and every by all accounts, it seems they are very comfortable on these champions and on these picks. They've just been able to play the fights out better, not make the same mistakes that they made in game one. And kudos to Wildcats for sort of they've got this 8,000 gold lead now, and they're on Soul Point. Soul Point is in 10 seconds, and I don't know how. Uh-oh.
You see
Little bit.
Engage coming out from the side of Mims, trying to find something. Zariel comes out early. Now
Gonna
he's able
reset
to
the
find
fight.
it. And here comes the Kane coming in onto them, and the Darius is running right at him. Lucan's trying to get away, but he does get popped, and so does the Zeri. And then the new also gets popped on top of that. And the Viger was never even able to participate by the time they all died.
This is actually a mistake we see from Psycho. I don't know if it's gonna matter. Can you get? They need to push the Vigar out because Kane has no smite yet. They're gonna have it, but they need to pull it out of the pit.
Kane has mine now, so it should be fine.
Okay, good.
And he does secure the soul, Hextech soul, for the side of Wildcats.
Almost no outer turrets left, as Darius is probably gonna take this turret right here. Sion not gonna be able to fight him there. Inhib going down in top side. Inhib gonna be going down shortly in the mid lane by all appearances. Psycho just looking to fight the Vigard. Gets a knockup on him. Dodges all the damage. Takes him to about half HP.
Wow, that didn't do anything to the Kane.
Kane does have the Hex Drinker and the Death Dance, so it's going to take a little bit. It's going to do more than you think, but it's going to be mitigated. Yeah. All outer turrets now
down. Try to find to go in, engage onto the Ezreal and Nico, but not able to find anything. Kane is trying to find that flank. The Darius is trying to kill the Sion.
That Hextech Soul is so oppressive. It's so hard to run away from them. It's so much extra poke. Oh, Zeri knocked up by the Janna Tornado.
I imagine we're probably going to see a final team fight here soon. The primordial burst on the Kane did almost nothing. They try to find an engage on the Nunu, but he survives for now. Tornado landed on the Sion, knocking him up, double knockup. Nico coming down. The Sion does end up going down. And the Ezreal is trying to find a blasting poke onto the Zeri, but then Janna ult saves them all. And we see now 3 inhibs down that Wildcats are trying to find the end of this game. Does find some good poke onto the rest of their team, not able to get back into the base. Zeri now has full health from going back to the tower.
Oh,
Darius finds a giant hole, fighting 3 fast and easy, quick kills. And we see that Ezreal does go down on the Nexus turrets, but it does not matter, as Wildcats is able to bring it back from that first game and make it a 1-1 in this series.
Great performances out of both Psycho and Edwards Reformed and Simple Snake. I think everybody played their parts correctly. Just goes to show that no matter what you say about draft and what you say could and could not happen, you just never know. It comes down to how you play these team fights out. Congratulations to Wildcats playing out a massive game or a massive macro game, playing very well, playing the team fights out correctly. Even though they lost one Drake early, I think they really showed that they understood how to put the Zeri down and not give her the advantages she was going to need to win this game.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised on how well they made sure the Zeri wasn't a contributing factor in this game. You know, we banned it every game because we were scared of the potential. And it just doesn't seem like it mattered.
Yeah, did not materialize this time. I lost a ton of channel points as I voted all of mine on mass. I'm not going to lie, but I think we're going to see what Mass's answers are now. We've seen a good game from Wildcats. The Darius came out, the Ezreal, and the Kane. So do you think they switch all 3 of those bands up, or what do you think we see changed? Because they did take the Ezreal over the Caitlyn that was left available.
I don't know.
And once again, we're going to see Masses taking blue side. So no side switches this whole series. Everybody is content to play the side they have. Red side Wildcats and blue side Mass. What do you think?
I think we see another Acel and Gwen. I think no bans change on the side of Wildcats, but on the side of Mass, maybe they think about banning. I don't know.
The bans for last game were Morgana, Zed, Garen, and I think we're gonna see the Zed ban change. Maybe not
Probably.
the maybe not the Garen. The Zed probably gets subbed out for the Darius, give Sion more of an easier time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what Mass's adaptation to that game is going to be. What did they feel was the thing they had to worry about? Ezreal, Darius were the first two picks for Wildcats, and then the Kane. So
I think that
maybe,
Darius was the factor in that game. He bought so much time and pressure that he allowed his team to be able to make the plays that they wanted.
and definitely a different type of carry than Mordekaiser.
For sure.
So Mass is taking blue side. We see. Hmm. Do you think the Rakan is not the answer? Maybe with the Zeri, maybe we see something more like the Lulu coming out.
Yeah, I think a Lulu or a is there a Yumi still a thing, or is Yumi pretty dead, not alive?
Yumi's pretty dead. I don't. I think it takes much different stuff to play. I do not see in Scourge's champion pool. I do not see a Lulu and other stuff like that. We see a lot of Pike, Thresh, Rel, Nautilus.
Maybe a Rel. I could see Rel's area being good or a Nautilus area. That's probably better than the Rakan. But I
I
don't know.
have seen. What do you think of Soraka? Maybe Janna. Hmm. I have no idea what their adaptation is going to be. I don't know if it was a bot lane con difference or if it was just the factor that they were able to win those fights. Do you just run it back and see? Because he's had great success on this area. If you look at OK Demon, at least in ranked, it's just gonna be how do you play it differently here? I think
Yeah. Is the draft coming up for you, Bovine?
they have not started the draft yet.
Yeah, but is the
Spectate link is working for me. The one in the
okay.
chat there, if you see.
Okay. I tried opening it. Didn't seem to work. There we go. Works now.
Hey,
I just had to reopen it.
there you go. See, clicking on it again, restarting things. General IT knowledge. Restart
Yeah.
everything. Is your power
Just
on and off?
wipe your entire computer whenever you feel like anything is wrong with it.
Delete system 32, Jeffrey. It'll
Yeah.
it'll help your computer run faster.
Right. If you're playing a game and you're looking to close it, just alt F4.
Oh God. Don't give them that kind of power, Jeffrey. We don't need anyone to have that kind of power.
Do you
Hmm.
know what I wonder?
What do you wonder?
I wonder if kids these days even understand the like quote unquote meme of alt F4ing.
Ah, I hope they do, because nothing back in the day, at least in my high school days, I think mine were a few more years before yours, even
A few.
a few. I think the greatest story I ever had of is that we seen someone. I don't know if you guys remember Bloons Tower Defense when it
Love
first
it.
came out. Loved the game. We had someone in one of our IT classes that was not a computer literate person, shall we say, and we might have convinced them that Alt F4ing was the way to save their game when they were on the very last level of Bloons Tower Defense 1.
You didn't.
And we did, and they Alt F4'd and lost all of their progress and refused to talk to us for the rest of the
Oh, you're
class.
a horrible person.
We are horrible people. I will fully admit that.
God.
I think you know as well as anybody else on Argonauts that I have a certain proclivity for trolling, and
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it. Best story of Alt F. What's your best Alt F4 story?
I actually don't have one. Uh,
Okay.
I've never made the mistake of alt F4ing.
You
Um,
okay? So I need you to do me a favor the next time. You need to walk up to your brother, walk into his room, smack him on the back of the head, hit Alt F4 on his keyboard, and then walk out of the room.
dude, you'd kill me.
Yeah,
He
you
goes to
have.
the gym. He goes to the gym. I'm not winning that fight.
You don't have to win the fight. You've already won the fight by when he fights you. It's a mental warfare, Jeffrey. You can take the punch or two, and win the mental game. Wait till he's in the middle of a
He's
ranked
so
game.
emotional too.
I
Like,
mean, just saying. You take what you take. You take the punch or two that you're gonna get, and you
I don't
run with
think I
it.
could do it. I don't think I could do it.
You see in chat somebody, I think it might be Emily, writing that the worst of all people don't take advice from Bovine. Listen, messing with people in your family is always an accepted option. You just have to time it right, okay?
Okay, well, we are getting into game three's picks and bans. We do see the Garen first ban coming up from the set of Mass. Seems like they're pretty scared of that. Um,
They still holding the Garen in high esteem. Edwards Reformed probably playing it very well if they gave him the option.
yeah, and we do see the ASL coming out from the set of Wildcats, which I'm not surprised about.
No surprises there. Asol is not going to be allowed back in. Darius,
And there's the
yes.
Darius, yeah.
Now what does Edwards play? Because I think they should ban the same 2-1s from Wildcats here. No reason I think to change anything. You've shown that you can play into the Zeri. It's just a matter of what is your top lane pick going to look like.
Yeah. And we see the Zaya band coming out next from the side of Wildcats, and their third band should be the should be the Gwen,
Oh,
unless they make the same mistake we did.
it is Gwen. It is the Gwen ban.
Yeah. I figured.
So
The second.
maybe just ban
And the Morgana
Zyrus.
band coming out last from Mass.
Mass really does not like that Morgana. I don't know.
No, I don't.
I think there's plenty of ways to play around it. Maybe I would have liked to have seen Kane or an Ezreal ban there. I
Mm,
think it's a little bit, maybe a little bit disrespectful towards Snake not banning any of his picks. Caitlyn, Ezreal do highly outrange Zarya and are able to pressure them in lane in a better way than Kaisa or Thresh ever would.
yeah, and then we see the Zaya. So first three bands are the same as we figured.
Well, no ban changes. Scion pick from Mass.
Same first pick. Ezreal coming out from the side of Wildcats.
Stick
Are
with
we
it's not
gonna?
broken.
I mean, it's not gonna be a salty run back, but it's close.
It's gonna be close. What is the pick into Mass now? Do they just take the Kane here and then decide what to do on top?
I don't know.
What do you think the top pick's gonna look like? Because I'm trying to think of things that really
Well,
want to.
he played Mordekaiser game one. It is the king coming out for the side of Psych. Um, the Darius. I mean, obviously you can't pick the Darius Dur, but I don't know. I think Mordekaiser still could be good. Um, maybe like an Olaf. I'm not
Ooh,
familiar with Edward's champ pool. Um,
I
we
like
do
this
see the
adaptation.
Vi. Yeah, the Vi is going to be really crucial for getting on top of that Ezreal, because no matter how many times he flashes or shifts away, the Vi is going to get on top of him with ulti.
Yep, I really like that
And the
adaptation.
Vex coming out in the mid lane.
Wow. Something I definitely don't remember seeing anything coming out of Baby Cod there in mid. They are going all in ham right now. They've said we are going into dive with this Vex and Vi
Yeah.
together.
I mean, if I were Wildcats, after we pick the third champion, it's going to be the Janna again. I would probably ban the Jinx Twitch. I think that would be my next two bans. Don't want to see either one of those coming out. Seem like they're able to handle the Zeri, so maybe they leave that open again.
Yep, and if you're not afraid of the Zeri, there's the Twitch, like you said, and maybe the Jinx is the other pick.
I would ban the Jinx. I don't want to play against Jinx.
No. I mean that's the other one you're banning.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
See a Zed ban coming out of the mid lane. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I agree with this. Maybe just the Zed is good into the Zed isn't bad into the Vex, but the Vex just
I mean,
like
the last thing though you want to do is have a Fed Zed.
I
That'd be
I will
scary.
I will say this that like Vex is one of my counter picks into Zed, and that if you play it the right way, if as long as you manage your fears and stuff well, it's incredibly. Oh, not banning the Jinx. They're gonna ban the Nautilus.
What?
I guess they want to prevent more lockup on the Ezreal because it is hard for the Vi to get to the Ezreal with his range.
What?
I mm, I think that's a bit of a mistake, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe they're giving him the option: you take the Zarya or the Jinx, and we're
I
just gonna
guess, yeah.
play into it. I mean, they both do fulfill sort of the same role. Nico
But the
Ban
bond,
coming
the
out.
range of Jinx is just so good.
Want to see what they pick for top lane. I know what I would like to see him play, having seen his ranked solo stuff, but I don't know if he's willing to pick it.
What are you thinking?
I'll reserve judgment until after their pick because I don't want to give anything away. I want to see if they're willing to pick it, or if maybe they're going to wait. They might wait to see the rest of the team before they pick it.
They do pick the Victor into the Vex. How does that
Hmm.
matchup go?
It outranges the Vex quite heavily. You can get flashes into it, and Vi can punish the Victor very well. That's another thing. I'm not sure I like the Victor with the Vi. Um,
Hmm.
but if the Ezreal gets ahead and the Victor is allowed to just stand in the back line and throw spell after spell, they are
There's the
gonna.
Jinx.
Now, what do you pair it with here?
Um, I don't know. Lulu?
Hmm. I would like to see Thresh.
Thresh? Ooh, yeah, Thresh. That's
I
fair.
would I would like to see Thresh, but I don't know if Scourge plays it. He's gonna play Braum. Actually, very good pick into a dive. You cannot now dive the Jinx with the Vex Braum Vi, and you can re-engage.
That's
But
true.
sorry, this is sort of the same vein we've seen in game two. That it looks like Mass is set up for great 5v5 team fights. The Braum is a different one than Rakan. Malphite was not on my list. The one I was thinking of was Jax. Um, I think they are lacking a bit of damage. I would like to see more damage on Edwards. Unless he plays this as an AP Malphite. Hmm.
Yeah, I
We
don't
will
know.
have to see what it ends up looking like. I
I mean,
re
it's so hard to predict this game because we saw the draft last game and we're like, well, Wildcats draft is weird and we don't know. I don't know if they're going to win, but they did. And so it's like, what do you pick now?
this is a different beast, I think, than game two. They've put more pressure on Lesbian Zed to carry with the Victor. The Victor's going to be a huge component of this team comp. Ezreal can put a lot of damage out, but the Braum is going to block a large amount of that, and Victor has a large amount of the AOE that this team is going to need in the mid game and into the late game. And I've seen her into the or him her they into the baby cod hasn't really gained the lane advantages I would like to see that you need on a Victor into a Vex. Now again, I haven't seen baby cod play Vex either, so I don't know how this matchup's going to go.
Yeah. I If I were to just take a guess, I would say based off a draft alone, I would say Mass has the upper hand. Um, but I don't know. I think that a Malphite can be pretty scary for a Jinx. Especially if he goes more of the AP side of things, it gets a good flank off, one shots her. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'll be interested to see the kind of game that these people play.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what they are going to do because it's really difficult to tell exactly what's going to happen, especially after game two. We saw it's a similar comp from Wildcats, like I said. And if they're comfortable playing this out into this sort of team fight comp and they can get the flanks they got on game one, I think they're going to find similar success. So I'm actually going to go with Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, like if the king gets to a similar position he was last game, and he's going to be able to absorb a lot of that pressure from the Scion Vi and Brahms. So I don't
Hmm.
know. I actually looking at it, I feel like the side of Mass is missing a lot of damage. Like if that Jinx doesn't get ahead, what's the carry? Vex?
Vex can carry if she's far ahead, is what I was saying.
Right, if she's far ahead, yeah.
But it's also a thing of like you have to get through the cane and the or not necessarily the cane. I think either one of them getting ahead can carry. It's just if they can't get the Jinx to the accelerated point they did that they did in game one with the Twitch, it's going to be very hard in the late game, as we saw. And they did play that out very well in game two, so we have to see more success from that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Do we have a channel prediction? Who's winning game two? I'll go ahead and throw my points.
The game two is supposed to be game three, but we fully understand.
Oh yeah, I did. I did read that. Titles.
Um,
Oops. We see an oops out from production.
it's
I would,
okay.
it's okay. We know this is game three. Probably don't need to rename the title. We do see some points coming in from TPO MAS. We have 50, 60, 110. Looks like the people showing up out for MAS. 52, 48% split is really good. Just make that a little more even 50-50. We're going to give it to the team. Hmm.
I think that's right. I think a 50-50 is right. Oh,
Not,
someone
not
just spent some more channel points, giving it to the side of Mass. And it does end up with 57% chance, according to chat, that Mass will win game three.
Gotta see it. A little bit of an advantage for Mass coming in from chat. They think again. We said the same thing about game one. We'll have to see how Wildcats plays this out. It's slightly different than the game one about where the damage has to come out from. But I look forward to seeing what they're going to do. I think they have a similar style they want to play, and they've chosen their style, and they're sticking with it.
I do know that with Baby Cod, he's a very good player, and the potential for him to get ahead is great. And so I do think that the Vex has a lot more potential to do that quick burst and continuation in fights, whereas Vigar's more of a one pump chump.
Mm, I would I don't know because Vigar has that big scaling option that always comes in, and Vex sort of has a point where it's going to be difficult to blow through up multiple targets.
Yeah,
And you really have to find good flanks onto the targets you want. Ezreal's going to be hard to hit, so she's going to be aiming for probably Victor Kane. Um, and Janna also can reset her out of things if she times stuff right.
it's true.
So it can be very difficult. She can't be interrupted on the way in of her ulti, I don't believe. But if you time it immediately, you can hit her out of it, and it's a very predictable straight line coming in.
But yeah, that's very fair. I think Jano should be able to stop the Vex from finishing the engage.
I guess it's just going to depend on which target she gets on. If she gets on the Janna herself, I think the Janna is in great danger from the Vex. Um,
Well, yeah, but can the Jano ult stop the Vex ult mid flight, or is it
no,
unstoppable?
I'd have to look that up because I believe it's unstoppable on the way in.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let me look it up.
But while we're looking that up and while we're getting ready for these 3 minutes delay to go by, we're excited to see who wins game three between Mass and Wildcats, and we'll be right back.
All right, everybody, welcome to Game 3, Mutant Atomic Superman versus Wildcats. Wildcats showing up in Game 2, able to take a win out of Mass's Sales. What are we going to see in Game 3? More of the same, or do you think different power positions from this, Jeffrey?
I don't know. I feel like more of the same. I think the identity of Wildcats' comp is similar to last game. But I think for the moment, I just enjoyed looking at Battle Academia's Ezreal's peanut butter and jelly sandwich that he was holding in his mouth.
I did not know that, and that is my favorite skin on that Ezreal too. When I play AD carry, is he rocking the Mythic Chroma? Yes, he is.
Is it the Mythic Chroma or is it just blue Chroma?
I'll see when he steps out of the bush.
It
I
looks
believe
like it's just the blue-white Chroma, unless that is the Mythic Chroma.
the Mythic one has the totally white hair instead of the blonde hair.
Yeah, then it is it.
Yes. Makes sense he would have it. Has it half quarter of a million mastery points from Stipple Snake on the Ezreal, by far his most played. 300,000 mastery points by Wolfie on Janna too. I didn't even realize that going into last game. So these guys really like these two picks.
Like maybe Todd is going to try to mess with Kane a little bit here. He can't lose, but here comes the Victor coming in. And the forced flash coming out from Baby Cod early is going to be really detrimental in this laning phase.
I think that's a bit of an unforced error on his part. Maybe feeling a little bit of pressure to do something early. Vex does not have enough damage at level 1 to really take a lot of that stuff. Maybe just trying to delay him, but losing a flash over it is definitely not what you want. First to burn both pots now early too.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very hard for Vex to be able to survive this lane against Victor.
Little bit of general fighting coming out in bot side. Not a whole lot really going on right now. Oh, more of a wet noodle fight top lane.
Hey, gotta love those wet noodles.
Kane making his way.
Really gain coming out from the Kane. Trying to get some early stacking with his roster. Good chunk coming out on the side of Mass against the Ezreal.
Ezreal did go the longsword start, so does have the extra pots to be able to take that. I'm curious about whether you think the Doran's Blade start or the longsword start's better.
I think that the Doran's Blade start is probably better. Get a little bit extra health on the Ezreal, some lifesteal. Gives a little bit more of that survivability. But I mean, I understand where the three pods sounds better.
I can definitely tell you, as when I play most of my matchups, unless I'm know for a fact I'm not going to be fighting early at all, I almost always prefer the longsword start, just because you get early. If you get early push and have to spend health for that, you can come back from it with 3 pots versus the 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'll fight with a
Gotta
big...
love those wet noodles.
Wet noodle tanks up top. We see some good trading coming back from each other, but just not really any kill threat. No ignites brought, nothing like that. Just poking, and that's what we're getting to see in topside. Vi is really deep on Kane's blue side down there, as we see in the
Yeah, it seems like Kane is about to try to go in onto his wolves.
I think he doesn't realize Vi's there.
Flash coming up from the Kane, but the slow coming up from Brahms, not able to find anything. I think the Janna Ezreal needs to roam down, otherwise they might try to apply more pressure on blue.
I don't think they actually win that in the same way as last time. I think they've made a good adaptation taking the Vi. Vi against Kane is going to have a ton of early pressure, and I think he's going to get 2 of these 3 bot side camps.
I mean, that's really weird that the Ezreal Janna is just like giving it away like that.
You can't fight the Braum. If anybody gets tagged with Braum passive, they are immediately dead without flash and cleanse. No cleanse on any of it. Brahms fights in those early levels with his Q, as powerful as it is, and the tag and the stun that comes out from it. You just can't fight that early.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I understand that.
Kane's going to go back towards his top side to sort of path that way back up toward, probably get some more essence from the Scion. Probably not going to get a kill. Maybe if Malphite has level 6 soon. I think he's might get it on this wave if he gets everything.
Early in the game, the Vi has a 3 camp lead over the Kane.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
taking his wolves and his blue. I do believe Kane got the Grump. So we see he got red Raptors and Grump.
Yeah, and he hasn't taken his own Krugs yet, so...
And he's trying to steal the Grump out from underneath the Vi, but I don't think he's going to be able to finish that. Vi's going to push him off with the early damage he's got.
Oh, Emily. Oh, Emily.
Long sword. Don't make everything sexual, Emily.
Oh, Emily.
I can't say on stream what you know I want to say, but it has to do with something phalangically related.
It's okay.
It's all right. I see a weird thing coming out from Vi. She's not going for the Radiant Virtue. It looks like they're going towards Chempunk Chainsword.
That's actually, I don't know if that's still what you do, but last patch or two, that is what you go. You rush the Chempunk Chainsword and then you go into the Radiant Virtue.
Okay, I'm used to seeing the Radiant Virtue come out initially, but I don't know if that was like patch 13.2, 13.3. Maybe I'm just looking at different leagues. And I'm basing this again off pro leagues and not maybe what solo queue and other stuff are doing.
No, I think at Pro League, they rush the Chempunk Chainsword and then go into the Radiant Virtue.
It is a good stat check item. Has great stacks that Vi all wants.
Right.
Nope, Kane hovering down the bot side.
Yeah, maybe we try to find a gank, but the Vi is going in for the return gank. It is able to find the Kane out. Kane is able to get some good damage on, maybe trying to get some stacks, and it seems like the disengage is there, and that's just all that's gonna happen.
Yep, fights for the stacks, gets a few things, trades a little bit of his HP, just gonna go right back to farming. Very quiet game 3. No, I think not a lot going on, just gonna be a lot of farming. Ezreal's out farming the Jinx this game. The Victor is actually keeping up with the Vex quite nicely compared to, game 1, game 2. The big power point is the Kane is far behind the Vi right now.
Yeah, almost 20 CS up on the Vi, and it means so much more when it comes to jungle stacks. And early Drake coming out from the side of MAS. They have a 700 gold lead without any kills.
Yep, just small advantages right now everywhere. The biggest advantage being the 300 gold in the jungle, but everything else is just, 100 gold here, 100 gold there. A lot of that'll even out. No, I don't think there's any real big advantage right now to be gained. Both of these comps are looking to scale, and I think we're going to have a really quiet early game compared to a lot of the other games we've seen in this league.
Oh yeah, this is by far the slowest game we've seen. Usually by this time you see 2 or 3 kills already, but nothing so far.
Kane.
Oh, here comes Gank coming up from the Kane, a double flash with a double ulti coming out. A return kill might go on to...
Not able to finish it off. Is going to get some good essence. A lot of things blown.
Kane, we see a Jinx ulti coming up. Maybe he finds land and
blitz
he
the
just
uprights.
goes wide.
And it's good. The field goal is made from 70 yards. Good attempt by the Jinx. Not going to find success. But with as much stuff has been going on, Ezreal actually used his ulti to clear the wave. It would have been funny to see like the crisscrossing ultis and see which one hits.
Yeah.
I don't think Sion was in any danger. Sion, if he has his W up, just has no danger. And early objectives are all going towards Atomic Superman. just because of the Vi pressure.
Yeah, it does seem like, even though it's a methodical game and there hasn't been a kill yet, MAS is able to build those up, those CS, try to build up the CS leads, and actually just has a big holding. We might see the first kill coming out with a great stun coming up from the Vi and the Braum, and it's first blood going over to the side of MAS.
This is going to be something that I'm not sure that Lesbian Zed's going to be able to do, but I want to see her build either a second item Zanya's, because it will actually save her from so many situations. Kane actually getting
tower dive coming out from the side of MAS.
What?
Ignite finishes off the Kane.
Kane took
That's
a large
crazy.
amount of damage there.
Yeah, he did.
Really was not expecting that kill to come through. Vi, 2 kills on the Vex now actually is huge. That Victor being that far behind, it's gonna be a major issue, I think, coming up. He's almost to his first evolve, which will allow him to wave clear a lot. Malphite's looking for ulti here in mid lane, but I'm not sure that they're gonna. Nope, not gonna be able to get anything. Just gonna play safe and back off his baby COD.
Yeah, if you look at the minimap, the amount of wards that MAS has on the side, on the top side of Wildcats is crazy.
Ain't not even seeing the control ward. Now sees it, the control ward in his jungle. I think the 2.5k gold lead coming in from MAS is going to be critical for this next Drake fight. Minute and a half. Vex has a full Luden's up and a stopwatch to go in. No mythic items coming through yet on the on Wildcats. Just a lot of components. Impressive amount of Vex damage onto Lesbian Zed. No teleport means that if they want to get back for the Drake fight, they're gonna have to back down and lose some minions.
Yeah, the first mythic coming out in the game is Vex, getting in early Ludens.
A lot of pressure going down onto this Victor. Just Baby COD is going to put Lesbian Zed to the test and say, can you hang?
Yeah, and it seems like so far with the way they've been playing, the Vex is gonna in a position to carry this game.
Yep. Now we have to see, can they get the advantages in bot lane that they had before.
Yeah.
Kane making a bit of a mistake trying to fight the Braum. Not gonna be able to get anything out of him. Vi wants to.
Kane's just wanting some stacks, but the amount of pressure being applied. Here comes the Vex coming in with the ulti. He's able to one-shot the Janna, and the double ult coming up, but misses the Ezreal.
Big damage onto the Janna, as we said. Baby COD, if she's aiming for
We see the
her.
Malphite has roamed down. Maybe you could try to find a good engage back onto them. The Vex has had to flash out of the Dragon Pit. The Vex is out of her ulti, so maybe they could try to find a good team fight going in here. Sion doesn't have the Unleashed teleport yet, so he'll have to teleport to probably bot tower if he wants to try to engage with them. It seems like they're satisfied with just losing the second Drake, maybe.
I think they're fine.
is trying to find a re-engage.
Vi does have assault and battery still. I think Malphite, a bit of a mistake fighting half health to the Braum right now, but I think they might have played this.
You see the Vi coming in. The Vi does secure Drake, but the Malphite ulti is able to come in. They get a kill onto the Vi. Not able to finish off the kill onto the Braum yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't die here.
Ooh, can they get in range? QW does claim the kill. Jinx ulti.
Jinx ulti does finish off the Kane. The snipes. Those snipes.
Ooh, there's a 5k gold lead now from MAS. Sion able to take a full turret top lane. He's gonna come back with a huge amount of gold, and that's the trade-off you make. You don't even. I think they lost everywhere.
They did. It was a 1-for-1, I think, and they lost the Drake, and they lost all plates and top tower. It's looking like a different beast. I think what happened was MAS was not ready for such a good comeback on the side of Wildcats, and so they weren't prepared for what they were doing. But now that they're able to get their roots settled in and understand what they want more out of the comp, that they're able to take good control. And you can see that with the 5K gold in 15 minutes.
Oh, Vi coming in. Is she gonna assault and battery? They do get the fear. No more damage coming down onto the Kane.
Yeah, Kane was able to get lost. Maybe we could start seeing some turnarounds. I don't know.
I think not having Ross for that fight, they should have just let them have the big for free, because they gave up too much on the top side to the Scion. Scion with Jack Show now, you know, he's gonna be incredibly hard to get through until you have, you know, your Last Whispers and your Void Staffs. Jack Show is incredibly difficult to get through.
Yeah.
First items coming in from everyone. Mythics on 3 on Mass. Vi obviously going the Chainsword first, not going to have a Mythic until later.
See potential catch coming out here on the side of Wildcats, maybe getting this Vex. Yeah, the Vex. Vex does try to ult in, but doesn't really result in anything. Knockout coming out onto the Vi, but the Scion ult then goes wide. It seems like they're just going to get that 1 for 0 and disengage.
Good shutdown. Who does shutdown end up going on to? I think it was Malphite.
Kane.
No, it was the Malphite. Kane had 2 kills from killing the Braum and the
Janet ult saved the Ezreal there from the Jinx rocket.
we'll see a little bit of savior coming in, but this is about a 4,500 gold lead still on Mass's side. Now, how does Wildcats sort of even this out? Because they're gonna have to show up to all of these objective fights now that, you know, every soul is gonna put, or every Drake is going to put them on soul point.
I mean, yeah, they can afford one more Drake before they really start to worry. But it's gonna be interesting trying to see how they try to find those advantages back in the game. They try to find an engage onto the Braum maybe, but the Vi is there and forces away the Kane.
Just trading vision right now on bot side. We see, I don't even know sort of what they're fighting for. Maybe should be looking more towards the Herald. Just still 2 minutes on that to claim second Herald. Actually, the first time we've seen Alien Soul has a huge
see the
lead.
Vex roaming down to the bot side. Maybe we should see a bot dive coming out from the side of Maze.
Janet
is also coming. The Ezreal and Janet are running away, but the Vex ult comes in onto the Ezreal and one-shots him and find the double ult onto the Janet, trying to find another kill, and he does get the double kill.
Ooh.
And yeah, 5-1 is the Vex.
So well played there from Baby Cod, able to, even though he gets dragged into the turret, play it calm and composed, gets the Vex E, the Looming Darkness into the Mistral Bolt, does finish the kill off with that plus Ignite and flashes away, not to give up any death to anybody.
And Jinx is able to finish off that tower. On the other side though, Objective Bounty is claimed by the side of Wildcats on the Rift Herald. Maybe they'll try to get something in the mid lane for that.
2.2k gold lead on the Vex into the Victor right now. Victor is really one of those that, you know, he comes on later, but if Vex is just allowed to roam continuously and be this far ahead, we see not even contesting the Drake is
the 1,400 gold lead on Rom against the Janna.
I don't know that that's going to be that effective. Malphite with a flank here. Vex is pushed out, actually. With no ulti, this actually might be a turnaround fight. Vi goes in on the Ezreal. Does not look like she's going to be able to kill her, just dying. Vex does get the ulti in, though. They do kill Jinx on the side. Janna does go down. Kane's going to finish off the Braum. Ezreal has not died yet. Victor has not died yet.
Does go wide.
Uh-oh. I think Vex might be in for a shutdown.
Wow.
Wow, turning around this fight as Wildcats. The gold lead goes down to 3,000. And the Drake is going to be claimed by them, too. Mistake coming out as Vex is forced out by the Malphite on the side. Once again, Edwards, even on a different pick, showing his understanding of where to come in from these flanks. huge performance, I think, from him. Actually, being able to zone that Vex from getting onto the back line is such a huge and critical component.
Yeah, I'm actually really impressed on the way they played the team fight. They're able to split up this like solid team fight comp that Mass is wanting to run, and make it a 1v2 and a 1v1 and another 1v2, and they're able to take advantage of that.
Living in the chaos in the skirmish, Janna does sacrifice her life to the Vex ulti, and Victor and Ezreal are allowed to carry the rest of the fight through, and the backline just has no chance against the Malphite and the Kayn. Jinx is not going to be able to contest this Malphite anytime soon, and really, I think, should be building a Last Whisper second. As counterintuitive as that sounds, she's not going to be able to get through him building full armor as he is.
I mean, I think the Jinx needs to build her IE second, right?
No, you can't. Even with IE, with the amount of armor that he has right now, with Frozen Fist, Glacial Shroud, going towards the Frozen Fist, if you build IE, you just have absolutely zero attack speed. You can't chunk through him.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. We do see the Vi trying to come in and take away the red buff, but Ezreal is able to finish that off for him.
Vex is on a bit of a flank.
Yeah, maybe we could try to see a good team fight coming out from the side of Mass here. But it seems like they're not really wanting to engage. Last time they team fought, they kind of lost, so I understand the hesitancy.
Just appears to be a lot of posturing for, trying to take away resources. If we look at the resource category, Jinx is down by 1,000, or going from top down. 600 gold lead from Sion to Malphite. Not really that effective because they are tanks and they can be effective with less gold. Kayn is actually ahead of the Vi after that early game. The shutdowns and everything else that he's been getting really accelerating his gold. Actually up by about 200. Vex is still up by a large amount, up by 1,700 gold, but 300 gold is the lead on Ezreal. And 1,000 gold lead on Braum into Janna, I think, is not really going to be that effective. So, in reality, even though it looks like a 3k gold lead, it's more like a 2,000 with what Braum having 1,000 of that gold.
That's fair. I don't know. Being ahead isn't like...
It's not like bad and then it's effective, but it's not gonna win you anything. Him being ahead, Kayn getting jumped on by the Vi, not gonna use Assault and Battery to dive in, just going to walk away. Drake is not up for 2 minutes. Baron is up now. Oh.
We do see an engage coming up from the Vex and one-shotting the Victor.
Actually, the Victor
is able to survive with the shield.
Turnaround shield from the Siphon Strike, actually waiting out the Ignite, is able to walk out of there. Great play from Lesbian Zed to survive the full combo. Oh, the flash. Oh, he does get away.
That does go off. The flash doesn't get anything. And the Victor's coming in back with the TP and trying to find and re-engage onto those Vex. Ezreal does come in and hits her. Maybe they will try to find something, but I think the Vex is just too fast, but the Kayn is trying to follow. The Vi does stop the Kayn from trying to re-engage, but now they're in a situation of the Kayn is going to beat this Vi straight up, and the Vex is low, so, and the Vi does go down, and now with the flash coming out from the Victor as well, they're able to get 2 kills on the side of Wildcats.
Sion is beating down the turrets in bot lane, but what a turnaround, turning this into Baron once again. Mask making some critical errors up in the top lane, as Vi never uses the Assault and Battery on the Victor at any point in time. I think that's a massive mistake, not being too afraid to fight through the Kayn.
We will see the Jinx ulti come out waiting to try to see if they can steal the Baron. What they need to do is they need to, and they stop it, and they do secure the Baron on the side of Wildcats, and they should be able to find a kill on Braum, but the Braum flashes away. But the re-engage coming up on the Malphite ulti, and the Kayn is able to secure that kill.
Yep. Taking an extra kill on the way out. Braum Jinx trying to end up with that, but the Unstoppable Force end up spending on the Braum's life. What do you think of the position they're in now? Wildcats playing the late game out incredibly well in these fights.
I mean, it's not even late game, it's mid game right now, baby.
We're transforming into 25 minutes. You got 2 and 3 items coming in for some of these guys.
That's mid game. We're in the mid-game.
Okay, I'll give you the mid game there. All right.
Late game's 4-5 items.
No, late game is 3 items. Get out of here.
What?
Yes.
You're saying late game
Mid game
is 3 to 5 items. You're half of your inventory is you guys in late game.
Yes.
You're nuts.
Because 3 items are when your entire core build is done.
Yeah, but that's mid to late. If anything.
Okay. This is why I call Macro on the team.
Anyway, we see an engage coming up from the slam, but it whiffs everybody. Maybe we can try to see a re-engage, but the ulti from the Vex does go in, but the flash coming up from the Ezreal is able to stop him up by going in on the 3 of them. Vex is Zanya's, but the Vi goes in with the Salt and Battery onto the Ezreal. He is able to get away from her for now, but the Janna is super low, and they are able to finish off the Vex. The Ezreal is surviving for now, and should be able to E over this wall here, and he does, getting out. And now the Kayn is finding an engage onto the Jinx. The traps are barely able to stop her. Stop the Kayn from re-engaging, but the Vi comes in with the re-engage, and now the Kayn should be able to finish off these 2 kills. And it's going to be a 4 for 1.
4 for 1
on the side of the Wildcats.
I just want to highlight in that fight how many times Simple Snake got arcane shift off. Four arcane shifts away. He
Three with the 3 in the flash. 3 in the flash.
Flashes the initial Vex burst, survives. Janna resets him, survives the assault and battery, ease away from that once, stays in the fight, continues fighting her, ease over the wall again afterwards to survive. Just like, I think it's been a mistake allowing him to have this pick. The fact that he survives both a Vex ult and a Vi ult, the assault and battery and the shadow surge, huge fight out of him, and the rest of the of the team, Malphite and Kayn are just allowed to play freely in the backline. Braum not able to save the Caitlyn, or not the Caitlyn, the Jinx. The Jinx, like you said, building the IE second, but it's just not enough. You cannot get through what is a huge rock right now, all armor. How much armor does he currently have? He has 579 armor.
Holy shit.
85% reduced damage to the Malphite, and with no armor penetration, Jinx is doing negative damage to him right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this game has been crazy. At 15 minutes, Mass had a 5k gold lead, which in most games, that's hard to come back from, even like later in the game. But they're able to come back, and now the side of Wildcats has a 2.5k gold lead.
They have really just fought this specific team comp with the Ezreal, Janna, and Kayn. They have been able to play these out so well. Psycho having great success on the Kayn, going in and out of fights, diving backlines, surviving on Rost, and being a menace. And then Ezreal, Janna just surviving all of this burst and dive that comes their way. Really, really good props to them. And even Edwards has had great moments both in last game and in this game with applying his pressure properly across the map and in fights.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was sitting here in the early game thinking, well, who are we going to choose for MVP and who's going to be in the interview? And I'm like, well, maybe COD. I mean, he had a great first game, and then second game, even though they lost, they were really great, and he was 5-1 on the third game, and I'm like, well, how do I get an W? But now, it may not even be someone from the side of Mass.
Cannot discount the fact that Wildcats are showing up and playing a great game. Again, like you said, very minimal mistakes that they've made in these last 2 games. There's been a few here and there, but they have really punished Mass's over-aggression time in and time out again. And it's working out for them, playing this sort of we're going to punish you style. You're going to have to beat us, and we're not going to beat ourselves.
Yeah. And in my head, I'm just thinking, if Wildcats win this game, Mass beat us. Are we worse than Wildcats?
I guess we'll have to see in the coming weeks. I don't know when the next time Argonauts plays Wildcats is, but I'm definitely
This
looking
actually
forward to
makes
it.
me so excited to play them.
I think it shows that a lot of the teams in this league can beat everyone and each other. I
I
haven't
see an
seen.
engage coming up from Psycho Ghost on the Kane, but the Janitor
Double.
knocks up 2, and wow, the burst coming out from the side of Wildcats is able to kill the Brahmin. Kane is able to just shred through that Vi. We do
Scion-
see the TP coming up from the Scion on the backline, but it's not really
It's-
going to result in anything.
Is this just game? No, I don't think they can
I
knock
don't
down
think
this turret.
so. Is that just me, or is that tower doing negative damage to the side of the fight? You see the Malphite all coming on to the Jinx. Maybe the Kane's able to finish her off, but the Great Fear coming up from the side of the Vex isn't able to do that. Jinx Rocket does not find purchase with the chain ult, saving everybody. Vexel does land on the Malphite, and she does decide to go in. And the Malphite just barely lives on the side of Wildcats. But the flash coming in from the Vex is trying to find something, but the Ezreal
great
with the W is able to pop her. And now we're going to see some re-engage probably coming out from the side of Wildcats. Oh, but the Winions in the top side take the inhibitor on the side of Wildcats.
They're getting chased down. Ezreal not going to be slowed. Oh, Ezreal has to get out of there.
Could see the Sullen Battery coming out onto the Ezreal. It seems like they need to try to get out of here. I don't know if this side of Wildcats can take another fight.
Yeah, we see that top inhibitor going down, a bit of a just staying around too long, no one answering that. But overall, winning that fight out, Baby Cod with what he's had a since being 5-0 is 1-5 since then, not being able to find and advance the lead he had early game.
Yeah.
Let's see the gold lead, and now Victor has caught up. Victor is even in gold, just 100 gold difference. There was at one point almost a 2,500 gold lead on that Vex.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy the amount that Wildcats has been able to survive and get back into this game. You see an engage coming up from the King now onto the Jinx and the Scion, and it doesn't really matter what the Scion does. The Jinx flash does come out away from the Malphite ulti. The King is going to get bursted down, but he's inside of his GA right now, and I don't know if it really is going to matter as the Kane does heal up some. But the Kane is going to get bursted down and does die.
Oh, front to
We'll have
back
to see
fight.
if the rest of Wildcats can survive this. The Malphite does get bursted a little bit. And the Ezreal's poked out of this fight, it seems like, and I would say the Wildcats need to disengage from this. It's not soul point yet, so they can afford to let this third Jake fall on the side of Mix.
Great flash there from OK Demon from Kobe, as he absolutely had to flash that Malphite all when it counted. Kane being on top of him with a Malphite means that you are going to go down if you get hit by that unstoppable
It
force.
seems like there might be some minions on the side of Wildcats as well, and there are, and they take the mid inhib.
Two inhibs lost this game to minions, one on each side.
Completely accidental too.
Yeah, just the pressure points of having no turrets in that mid lane and getting the lane pushed has been, I don't know if it's just a sort of fortunate for both sides, but it does give them extra pressure going into these objective fights. But I will say the mid lane being down on the side of Mass is actually going to make it so that if you lose a fight hard enough, you will just lose the game with the super minions coming down mid.
They really need to be careful about the team fight that they take next, and it seems like the next objective is Baron.
No flash on OK Demon, no flash on Baby Cod, no flash on anyone on Mass's side, and we see
The only flash up is on Janna that I see.
Yep. I think it's going to be important to mention that because Malphite ulti is going to be a huge part of that backline dive that they've got.
I was just going to say, it does seem like the side of Wildcats is prepping for this Baron. Maybe trying to bait out the side of Menace here.
I think Psycho's making a mistake showing himself there. He should just play in the darkness. Don't give them... You should clear mid-wave, walk into the darkness. You know, force Scion out. Don't give them any... Someone does need to answer
is
top lane,
potentially in a caught position here. Malphite does run into him.
I don't think he can get through
tries
Scion.
to find an engage, but no, it doesn't really seem like anything finds.
Someone needs to answer the super minions in top side.
That they do. And it seems like they're just going to be in a kind of a dance right now.
Victor, no TP. Edwards has TP top. I'm not sure he can get through all of those supers, but Victor is going to go up top side and clear those waves out. This is the time where Mass needs to come in. Once they see Victor on top wave, they need to come in and take vision control back on Baron. Now with the map control in that area.
Seems like they're the side of Wildcats are backing off. Don't want to get caught in a team fight without this Victor. But it seems like they try to find a minor re-engage onto the Kane, but the Kane W does stop the engage. And they do seem to have vision control now. We see a few wards coming out on the side of in the jungle of Wildcats.
Yeah,
But
good
one
blade,
sweeper and you're able to get him out.
good blades reach there prevents the Vi from queuing in. Possibly could have followed up with assault and battery.
Is that what the W is on Kane? Blades reach?
Yep, blades reach. I'm slowly learning all the names as I click through them as you say W, because I'm like, I should probably look up what that actually is. Not that I'm gonna remember it for the next game either.
No, that's fair. If I know the name, I'm gonna say it. If not, the one syllable is more than like 5.
Yeah. Baron start up here from Wildcats. Mass is piling in. They're gonna see this coming.
Yeah, we should see a Zaunite maybe come in here. We do, but it only hits the Malphite. And we see that the Vexel does try to find an engage onto the Janna, and Janna does get one shot, but the Kane is on the backline right now, and Kane is going to get insta-pop. The Malphite all coming on the Jinx, but it doesn't really seem to matter as the Vex does end up clearing the Victor on the backside. And the only person alive now on the side of Wildcats is this Ezreal, but the Ezreal does get hit by the Vex ulti. And it gives the triple onto the Jinx, resulting in a 5-for-0 on the side of Mass and Baron take. And we see the Scion TPing onto the bot wave to try to get this tower.
TPO MAS finally gets the front to back team fight they wanted. I think it's a bit of a mistake on Wildcat starting that Baron up as it forces them to clump. You really have to playing for the turn, and I don't think everybody was on the same page. It didn't have the vision to spot out where the Vex was throwing her ulti from, and Janna dying instantly in the late game cannot reset the fight.
Yeah, Vex got a really good flank and engage there.
I think she killed all 3 of the carries or she killed 2 of the, or maybe not killed them, but set up for the kills on all 3 of the carries, hitting Janna first, hitting Victor next, and then hitting Ezreal finally. Yeah. Victor actually flashing out and still getting hit by the Shadow Surge.
Yeah, I mean...
Great. That's what, a 5,000 gold swing now. 3,000 gold ahead are they, but they're in the late game now. And Jinx has the items now that she can chunk through the Malphite, so he is not going to be able to survive as long as
hitting
before.
The 4 items on the Jinx is huge. Maybe we can... we see that the soul point is up for the side of Mass. We'll try to see what Wildcats tries to do in this situation. Maybe try to find a good team fight. You know, they've definitely brought back team fights before. I don't know. Jinx is online, so it's a whole different situation from what it was earlier in the game.
Yep, 1,000 gold to lead on the Jinx. Vi forced the Q away. Look up what that means.
Drake is going down and is claimed on the side of Mask. We do see the Vex able to find the Janna again and one-shot her. The Kane is on the backline, but it doesn't really seem to matter as the Vex is going to probably... No, the Victor is able to burst off the Vex on the side of Wildcats, and we try to see an engage with the Soul Battery onto the Ezreal, and he's probably going to live here, and he does. Or not live, he probably dies here, and he does. And now we're going to try to see an aggressive engage coming out and find a double kill onto the Vi.
I think that
Kane and Malphite living.
I think this might be the end of things. They could be able to push down. Death timers are 40 and 35 seconds. They could potentially end this down. Jinx is now in the backline. It's hard to get onto her. 5-1 has survived until she got the item she needed.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. The Vex 2 fights in a row has been able to find the Janna, which is who is making those earlier team fights so difficult on the side of Mass.
As I talked about in draft, the Janna late game is very, very vulnerable to that Vex. She cannot.
Janna by Zaunite.
might even need to consider buying that stopwatch. I don't know what her final item she's looking at, but buying a stopwatch and being able to Zanya's that first Shadow Surge away from her team and then reset that fight is going to be imperative. Kane in a little bit of trouble
Seeing
here.
engage maybe out from the Kane, but he gets chunked down and is able to get out from the rest of, oh, excuse me, the set of mass. And it seems like it's just going to be a little bit slow now. I don't think Melissa's wanting to overstep and, you know, risk maybe throwing the kind of lead that they've accumulated again.
Yep, 5,000 gold is the lead. It is at the 40-minute mark, so it's not, you know, it's going to be a few items difference here and there. I don't. What
I mean,
is
I
the?
don't think that's not even true. Like Malphites doesn't have a fourth item. Kane doesn't have a fourth item. Victor doesn't have a fourth item. Ezreal doesn't. Like these 4 item marks are really important to try to win these fights. And everybody on the side of Wildcats is just missing it.
I don't think right now there's an item that's going to make a large difference in these team fights and the way you're going to have to play them out.
See it on battery in the Vex. I'll take him out onto the Victor, and the Victor does get one shot. They try to find a re-engage, but the Vex Zanya's hit. And now we see TP coming up from the sound, trying to find a re-engage. Vex does get bursted down by the Ezreal. Maybe we try to see a good team fight coming out. The Jinx is late, and now we see the Jinx coming out, and the Ezreal does shift onto the Jinx and gets one shot. And now the Jinx is going to try to run over this team fight and does just go straight through that Kane, gets the Janna, and gets the Malphite, resulting in a triple kill.
And that's going to be all she wrote, folks. Jinx has hit the late game timer. She's not there for the initial fight, and everything is spent trying to kill the Vex. Good Zanya's good time buyer on the unstoppable force. And even though she does go down in the end, she forces them to group up for the Jinx to end up getting the kill. And I think, is MAS going to play with their food? Nope. Just getting a few more minions. Running out the end of this game. 41-minute barn burner in game 3 that I didn't think we were going to see, and a great finish to this game from TPO Mutant Atomic Superman. Wildcats gave it all they had, even coming back from a 5,000 gold day, and made this a game. But in the end, the scaling is a little bit too much for Mutant Atomic Superman.
Yeah, but congratulations to MAS on the 2-1 victory. That should bring their points to, I believe, 4. Because it's 2-2-1s.
Yep. If you get a 2-0, you get 3 points. If you get a 2-1, you get 2 points. So
we're tied with them.
MVP vote going out now. Who do you think are we going to give it to? Baby Cod overall, and I think played well in all 3 games.
I don't know. That third game, the Baby Cod did fall off, made a few mistakes. I might honestly give it to OK Demon. You know, that Jinx was something.
And especially that game 1 victory as well. 16-1 on the Twitch cannot be discounted.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. You know, the game 2 on Zeri was a little rough. But I definitely think that between the 2 games that they won, he was definitely like the player. And was the clutch factor almost. Although Vex did find a couple of good engages on a couple of fights on the Janna. I don't know. Good thing it's not up to me to decide who it is.
I could live with either or. Vex did have 13k more damage in the final game, but like I said, it came down to at the end OK Demon carrying in the late game fights that Twitch from game 1. I don't know. I'll wait and see who chat thinks, because I want to say I think it's either or. I know who I'm giving my vote to. And I want to see what the rest of the everybody else thinks. It does look like OK Demon is winning right now.
Yeah, everyone vote. Let's see if we can try to have a good poll going on. 1 vote coming in on the Scourge.
Baby Cod, that's 2, 3 for OK Demon. Everyone in chat who's in there right now, vote. Don't leave anyone out. We only have 7 votes right now. It's 18 people here. Let's see everybody. Let's see everyone vote. I want to see at least 10, 12 votes.
I don't think they're gonna do it. A whole bunch of wimps out there. Sad.
And no last second votes. OK Demon and Scourge actually tie.
I think I think that we will give it to OK Demon.
I'm
I don't
okay
know
with
about
pulling
you.
both of them in here if that's what we
We
want to
could we
do.
could do both. You know, the whole bot lane as a duo. We could pull them both. I'm down.
Yeah.
Both. They want to pull us both.
Yep. And
Oh,
there
what's
we
up,
go.
Kobe?
There we go. Got one, and there's Scourge himself. Okay, Demon Scourge. How does it feel having gotten the win and what was some really tough games there?
Sorry, I had to pause the stream because your voices were overlapping. But
Like,
it feels real good. How do you feel, Scourge?
About the Wildcats, you know, I wasn't worried because I've been called a pussy tamer a couple times in my life before, so I figured we had this.
Yeah, you're confident, especially after that game 2 and game 3 where you threw away a
Yeah.
5K gold lead. You know, really, you just had that, right?
What, game 2? Oh, of course. You know, sometimes you start popping the champagne a little too early. It hits a little hard, and you maybe into game away.
Mm.
mm,
Yeah, of
mm.
course, of course.
We
Def-
definitely got ran down by that Darius a little bit.
Definitely had that feel in game two. For game one, how did you feel? Sort of Scourge. Like, do you just sort of sit back and let OK Demon just sort of run over things with the Twitch being that far ahead, or how do you feel about that with that
You
lane?
know, you sit in the lane, you start a nice like Gregorian chant, you kind of get the vibes going, you light some incense, you know, you spaz, you pray, and you just let the whole thing roll.
So
Yeah.
you're saying that I do all the work?
Yeah, you just let it
Okay,
roll.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I was really impressed
No,
with the Twitch
I
play game 1.
to touch on that too. I bank a lot off of Scourges and engages. He's always thirsty for blood.
Very true. I smelled in the water.
Also, like Banana Man just has phenomenal pressure in the bot lane for us.
Oh
and
yeah, that J4 pick
that was the only reason I was able to
crazy.
get fed was because Jarvan was just nailing those ults on them, and they couldn't get away from the rat-a-tat time.
Yeah. What? So, and congratulations on getting your second pentakill weeks back to back.
I didn't even realize I got it in that Baron fight. I knew I got a quadra, but
No, yeah, I
didn't.
didn't either. And then it said pentakill, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And now apparently we're gonna try and get me a pentakill every series game. So we'll see how that goes.
Also, that was my next question. Do you feel like this is going to be a continuous thing, like the bot lane dominance that you guys have had? Because you played what I would consider two of the better bot lanes in the league so far. So, what do you feel like? How do you feel like you continue the success in bot lane?
Well,
It's a pike pick. A pike pick. I want to play pike. For the love of God, someone convince my team to let me play pike.
Wait, I'm down. When we play you, I'll convince him to let you play Pike.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I just
was
want that out there.
I was definitely highly anticipating facing the Argonauts bot lane for sure, and after we got through that, and now we got through this series as well, I am feeling pretty confident about our bot lane being at least top 1, top 2 in the league.
Yeah. So how do you feel what do you feel like went wrong in game 2?
I think that I got too happy that they didn't ban the Zeri, they didn't ban all top 3 of my ADCs, and I wanted to pull that out. And we built a comp around it. Like we knew what the idea of it was, but we couldn't really execute it when it came to the end of the day, especially since we had trouble getting on top of their backline.
Yeah, and then game 3 when you're in draft phase when they banned Nautilus instead of Jinx, what went through your head?
I was skipping and clapping my feet. I thought they were going to ban it, and I was like, I don't even know like what I want to play into a safe late game if they ban
Yeah.
the Jinx. Like I figured I'd pull something out, but I really wanted to play the Jinx there, and it got through, and I was very happy.
All right. I have one last question for you. What do both of you guys think for University of DN next week? You're playing them. What do you any thoughts about their team? I know we've seen them streamed a few times here and there.
I'm excited because I think it's gonna be easy 2-0.
If you here's some insight. Last week, I believe that they 2-0'd Wildcats, who you
Mhm.
just 2-1'd.
Yeah, easy. 100%. No worries.
I love the confidence.
Exactly. I ooze it. It just pours out of me.
I'm really excited to face the University of PN and win bot lane probably.
We see the measured response of OK Demon here, and Scourge with the all-out confidence of we are going to win no matter what.
Always.
Well, I think that's going to be all for tonight, folks. We're going to be looking forward to the next game. If you don't know, there's a Mythic East or a TPO Esports Channel 2. Please tune into that as the other game that is going on currently right now. I believe it's between TPO Cheesers and Hidden Nightmares, or what?
No, rebranded to
Testy
Testy Coles.
Testy Coles. Okay.
Yes.
Interest,
Good name. Good name. Yeah.
in,
Amazing.
interesting name. The team that has huge anus on it sort of makes sense.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fair, but please do tune into the secondary channel as that game is streaming on over there. Please go show your support for both of those teams. And that will be all from us tonight. Thank you once again for the games, guys, and we will see everybody next week.
Yeah. Bye.